Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast. You look a little exhausted from that, Dodger. That's a lot of...
The second you said 30 seconds, I was like, all right, I'm on it. I'm going to just start rocking out, just jamming. And once we finally got started, my arms were so tired.
I understand that level of physical activity is not something you're used to, so it's okay.
It's true.
I understand.
It's true.
I understand. Welcome to the Co-Optional Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We occasionally talk about video games. Our special guest today is Boogie2988, also known as Francis. But let's get this out here right now. Francis is not a real thing, yes?
As you guys may know, my voice is sometimes like this. But the reality of it's a character that I like to play on my YouTube channel so that I can express some of my less popular opinions, I would imagine, or very popular opinions, depending on how mad I'm at EA, I guess, or whoever I'm at.
Is that how the internet works? If we just make characters, we can be just really angry?
What, you didn't know that? I have a character, it's called me. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out so well for me so far, so maybe I should take a bit of advice.
TB's actually been dead for years.
I've been dead inside for years, maybe.
Great. I need to make a character called, like, Dr. Pinch and Squeal, and he'll be...
Yes.
He'll be my character.
Sounds like a BDSM madam.
We finally figured out our collab, Jesse. That's it.
Oh my god. Dr. Pinch and Squeal and Francis together at last.
We will take over the world.
Ladies.
Oh my. So
That's all I say. That's my character. He just comes in and goes, ladies.
and then just exits, like just move.
That's all it is.
out.
That's about as creative as Jesse can expect it to be.
Billy Jeans his way out. The floor lights up whenever he moves.
Indeed.
Yep.
That's a terrible thing, and I hold you personally responsible. So, Boogie, what is it that you do on the internet? Introduce yourself to the guys who may not know who you are.
Well, hi, I'm Boogie2988. I do a vlogging channel here on YouTube. I'm about 50% game-related content and about 50% life-related content. I talk about the stuff that I've gone through to help you get through the stuff that you've gone through. And I also do little rage sketches about what's ever upsetting you today, whether it's the government shutdown or whatever video game. What video game is really pissing people off right now?
Government shutdown, not a great video game.
No.
The worst game I've ever played, yeah.
It was an ideal time for Democracy 3 to come out. Apparently you can't play that in the US. But there you go. Mild political humor.
It hurts so bad.
Too clever. Too smart. Yeah, so there's that. And then, of course, there is a certain game that I think people have been looking at this week for all the wrong reasons, but we'll get into that in a minute. Dodger, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hello. What's going on? I mean, aside from Monster Hunter, my life has been really just nothing. just a shell filled with Monster Hunter. But I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here.
Good.
There it is.
Glad to hear that. Excellent.
Okay.
Jesse Cox. The
Hi,
last and
everyone.
certainly the least of us. Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Week, everybody. I'm doing great. Fantastic. I don't know. There's nothing really exciting happening. Nothing exciting has happened to me. I'm living the life.
We're coming to the end of Cocktober, and you're telling me that nothing is going on that's exciting in your life.
Well, the fact that I have to finish up Cocktober, I mean, that's literally it. Videos need to be edited. Editing, spoiler kids, editing sucks. It is the worst thing there ever was.
That's why most people don't do it. Hey!
Not if you have a good backtrack. Look, if you got like good jams going and you're like in the groove, it's okay. Editing's okay.
Can I interject for just one second?
You absolutely can.
Can I interject for just 1 second? To me, Cocktober means something completely different, I think. But it's still very fun, just so you know.
Ladies, Dr. Pinch and Squeal is on the job.
He's not a real doctor. Don't trust him.
He's not. Stop. No.
Oh, I need gloves. Like, snap.
Oh, God, no.
Ladies.
Get out the petroleum jelly.
Lots of editing and lots of projects happening that need to get done before people yell at me. And that's it really. That's what I have to do. It's called a job. All four of us have to work, except for Dodger.
Not
she
me.
shows up and reads a script.
That's true. I spend most of my life looking at a teleprompter.
Drinking coffee, reading teleprompters.
Drinking coffee, reading teleprompters.
Basically, all that you really need to become the next president of the United States, really. So.
Right? Yeah. If I got to be prez, I'd be like, look, I know how to do this teleprompter thing. Don't even worry.
For one thing, you instantly don't get to because you use the word prez unironically, so that pretty much disqualifies you.
Probably the PRZ too, which just is insulting to everyone.
What about Veep? Can I use Veep? Is that
No.
okay?
because that reminds me of
It's a TV show, though. It's a TV show now, so it's legitimate.
Veep? Really?
Yes.
What does that
Yeah.
mean? Short for VIP or what?
No, for
Vice
Vice President.
Vice President.
And
Veep.
it's a show on HBO, guys. It's
Is it
in
good?
What's her butt from
Elaine. It's Elaine. She has no other name. It's Elaine from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Oh, okay, I see.
Elaine
I've been
from
watching
Seinfeld.
something related to the vice president lately, and that's a show called Scandal, which is very, very good. It's on Netflix. Enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, take that, Vice President.
Yes.
Vice
Vice president
actually
that is crazy. It's great.
completely off topic. For those of you who have been pressuring me for the past 3 years, we're finally watching Breaking Bad in this household. It's happening.
You're doing the Lord's work.
It's
Keep it
truly-
real.
I'm trying to get through it too. I'm like almost to the end of season 3, so I'm.
You've been
doing
almost
it.
to the end of season 3 for the last 2 podcasts. I just want to point
I
that
know.
out.
I've been almost at the
It's-
end of season 3 for the last, 6 months, I think.
You can't keep saying I'm watching it and then be I'm almost at the end of season
Watch like
3.
one
You've
episode
stopped
at a
watching
time.
it.
Watch
You've
like one
stopped
episode
watching.
at a time.
You've stopped watching it. Don't
It-
pretend that you're watching
Stop
it.
ruining the camera. You're making Skype get upset. Quit it.
In her
Quit
defense,
it.
I think season 3 might be a hard season to get through. I don't know, but it's
The
really
ending's the best. She hasn't even gotten to the ending yet. The other day she's like, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm like, fucking watch it.
Wait, did I finish it? Wait.
Oh my god. You know what?
No, I have one episode left. I have one.
Indeed.
There's not enough water
Let's
in
move
the
on.
world.
So we do occasionally talk about video games. Occasionally. So let us begin. Jesse, what have you been playing this week? What's been going on?
I finished up Beyond Two Souls, which was hilarious as expected. Only in a game where David Cage says, I will never make a sequel to my video games, can there be something that's like, see you in the sequel?
Wow.
What a genius. What a mad genius.
Get out of here.
I finally beat Divinity Dragon Commander.
Oh, you actually
That
beat
game-
that. I wasn't even aware
Yes.
you were playing it.
I was playing. Turns out, the last part of that, I think Act 3, when the enemies are demonic controlled, they're a lot tougher, and I was not prepared for that, and so it was rough. But I beat it, and
demons in that game too?
well, I don't want to spoil things, but demonic controlled is all I'll say. And one of my favorite parts of the game, by far, is when you are, I think it's beginning of Act 2, you get to choose a bride. And so you have brides presented before you, and you have to choose them based off of, like, if you're in love with them or how they look or whatever. And so, there's the elf woman, she's, like, just tits and ass. There's the lizard woman, and she's like, look, I know it's a marriage of convenience, so whatever. There's like, there's like this dwarf girl who's just a big old skank, right? And they have all these different characters, and then there's an undead girl. And I was like, well, she's just bones. But here's the thing. I am at like 15% favorability with the undead, so I gotta figure I need to marry this girl, or else I'm gonna lose.
Right.
So I married this undead girl. Her name's Ophelia, and she's the moodiest emo person in the world. She's like, oh my lord, oh, the night raven falls upon. I'm like, oh Jesus. Here's the thing, though. This game has so many different options in it. At one point, it's like, so yeah, no, this girl, she comes to you and she's like, my lord, I've lied to you. I have bone cancer. And you're like, well, I see what you did. So you can cure her the goblins have like a cure that you can use on her, but it's untested. So you have options like, do you test it on other races? Do you test it on other undead? And so like you go through the storyline, and if you do what I did, which is basically just test everything to save this girl and just F everyone else, eventually she like loses her undeadness and becomes a smoking hot naked chick. And I was like, I've done good here today. And then here's the thing, all the undead get super pissed because they're like, yeah, it's a travesty, you've ruined her perfection. And so now the undead hate me again, but my wife is amazing looking, so it all worked out. But then I found out you can sacrifice your wife to the demons. And I was like, perfect. So I made a beautiful woman, and then I sacrificed her to a demon for unlimited power, and it worked just as I planned.
It is truly a love story for the ages, and still better than Twilight.
It was great.
Everything is.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was the best thing about Dragon Commander. The problem I really had with Dragon Commander is the actual strategy part of it. The actual real-time bit is the weakest bit of the game. The best bit is decisions and having arguments with the council and talking to that militant feminist woman who complains about everything and doing all that kind of stuff. That's the fun stuff. And
if you develop your characters over time, like if you like that woman or the guy who's basically like the alpha male guy who's like, I like to bang women and get drunk and fight, right? Like, as you do things through the story, like at one point there's a mission where that guy's daughter gets kidnapped, and depending on what you do, like the women characters who he's been really abusive to, depending on like if you change the course of the game, like they may be like, you know what, we're gonna help this guy because even though he's an asshole, he's still our friend. Or other times they're like, you know what, F him, we don't even like that guy. And so depending on what you do, you change how they look at different things. So for example, one of the women comes out and she's like, I'm a lesbian, and you know, basically she just is like, the way that women are treated in this army is horrible, and it changes. Like if you're like, you know, I'm cool with that, do what you want, it'll change the outlook of your other crew. So it's basically like modern day politics wrapped in fantasy. So there's a lot of like, there's like don't ask, don't tell. Really cool. There's things like, do you want to, like the goblins will be like, we found this new thing that's gonna make explosions like 100 times bigger. We'll call it like nuclear technology. Like, and so you can say like, do you want to use that or not? You can talk about like your soldiers can, if they're wounded, you can pay for their like metal robot arms and stuff, or be like, no, they're on their own. So it's taking things that happen today and just fantasizing them.
Yes.
And it's really cool. And I was like, that's the best part, because the other part that like TB was talking about, you can just auto-resolve 90% of it and just skip it, because it's really there's nothing great about that part. Like,
it's got its moments. Like, it's a dragon with a jetpack, which is a definite plus.
True.
Moving around with the dragon and like breathing fire on everything is the best bit of it. The main problem is the actual strategy part of it, because you can't really do it alone. You really need to be backed up by an army of some sort. The controlling of that is awkward. The amount of ridiculously repeated dialogue things. Like, I don't know which one it is. There's one of those guys where one of the units is two people that speak in a very kind of, I think it's a kind of northernish English accent, which is the most annoying thing in the world. And they keep repeating the same kind of lines over and over again, those unit prompts, and it's like, no way. So that bit kind of sucks, but I do like flying around as a dragon, especially once you get the more powerful breaths. You're able to just like obliterate screens worth of stuff, which is pretty cool.
The problem that I have is that the dragon's effectiveness as the game goes on gets less and less.
Oh, does it? It doesn't scale well?
When you're fighting demon guys and they can 3-shot you, it does. And in order to prevent that, you have to give up some of your breath attacks and add some passives. Here's the thing that I learned.
Screw that.
Passives aren't passives you get just for having learned them. You have to have them on your hotbar for them to be in effect.
Yeah.
So you're giving up abilities in order to stay alive. And in doing that, you do less damage as your dragon. And so
which means the dragon's less fun in the first place.
Yeah, and so, and then because most of the units are the exact same, your enemies have the exact same units, and so do you.
Yeah,
like, it's true. Like, there aren't really much differences.
It becomes a bit of a grind forward a lot of the time. It's like, all right, just throw units at this until it dies. Like, actual strategy really seems to come down to rock, paper, scissors counters, unfortunately.
Yeah, but in the end, it's actually, like, really, really fun. It's great that you can spend the majority of your time negotiating with your various races and trying to get them all on your side and trying to make them like you. Plus, no matter what you do, on the upside, the newspaper will always blame you for the opposite, no matter what. So if you like,
Yeah, I love that.
if you win a battle, it would be like, Emperor murders millions. Like, what? Or like if
The newspaper is one of the best parts about that game. It's so much fun.
I made like a constitutional monarchy, and they freaked out, and then I gave them the vote, and they freaked out about that too. I was like, what?
That's the media for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun.
It's a good game. It's fun. Like it kind of like anything that Larian does. The humor is all over that game, and it does so in a really good way. That, and they love having no right answer. They absolutely love that. Like their previous games, like Divinity 2 and Divine Divinity, like the morality system in there was very loose, and that's the same with all our other stuff. So yeah, Dragon Command is pretty good. Like, if that ever goes on sale, I'd strongly recommend to people try it out because it's really unique and awesome. Maybe not all the bits of the game work as well as they should, but it's still an interesting enough concept to justify your time, you know?
Yeah, and it's definitely, if you're looking for a challenge, later on it becomes one, because the enemy gets, like, they have $1 million before you even are ready to go, and it's like, oh, I'll be defending for a while.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So.
You've sold me on it, by the way. You had me at Demon Wife, honestly.
It's fair.
Here's the thing. There's so much that, like, there are so many different options I didn't choose that I'm really curious, like, what is the twist with the hot elf chick? Is she gonna be like a man? Like, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
She'll probably try and kill you. It's like, because it seems like the most obvious option, and then
actually, I know what it is. I was looking through the achievements. And
are you going to ruin it for people? Don't ruin it for people. If this is a spoiler, don't ruin it for people.
Oh, but it's really good, too.
Okay, hang on. Let me put up the spoiler warning.
Finger?
No, I don't worry. I have a spoiler alert here that I can flash. There we go. Spoiler alert is on.
Okay. The hot elf chick, I was looking through the achievements and I figured out, I just remember what it was. She asked to have an open marriage so she can go around and bang whoever she wants on the ship. It will increase morale, but decrease your love. I was like, that is a good option.
That's amazing.
Story of my life.
What I'm thinking is, I marry her, and as a second playthrough, I marry her, increase the morale on my ship, then sacrifice her as that demon! Oh my god, that's perfect.
Wouldn't that then have a massive morale penalty on the ship?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Here's the thing. Eventually, look. If she gets out there enough, they'll have the milk from the cow or whatever that saying is. They won't care. They'll move on.
What?
But then I'll give it to the demon, and the demon, he's lonely as balls. He needs a woman.
I cannot imagine why you're single, Jesse. I can't. All right. Spoiler alert is now off.
Nothing.
So there we go. Boogie, what have you been playing this week?
This week has been a combination of trying to catch them all in Pokemon. And by the way, for the record, now, if you're not familiar with the concept of Wonder Trade in the new Pokemon series,
what's that?
You can set up a blind trade with somebody randomly over the internet.
Okay.
And so you could give up, say, a Weedle and get a Squirtle in response. You could get whatever. Well, my plan is to get a Ditto, get a Snorlax, and make as many Snorlaxes as I can, name them all Boogie, and then just send them out into the world. That's the plan.
That's a great idea, by the way.
Cool.
That's kind of great.
Fantastic.
So I've been working towards that, and that in Hearthstone has been destroying my free time. And I saw your legendary deck, by the way, and it inspired me to push forward into getting as many as I could.
Yes,
and now
absolutely.
I think at some point you and I are going to have to battle legendary and legendary, because we may be two of the only people on the planet with a collection that complete.
I think I'm sitting on 19. My 19 legendaries deck has been rebuilt, by the way. So I'm sitting on that right now. I've been putting it through its paces. I've made some alterations, but I am looking for... I have this plan. I think it's for a 24 legendaries deck that would work.
Oh, nice.
And the only thing that it has aside from the legendaries is it had 2 pint-sized summoners, 2 alarm mobots, and 2 summoning portals. And everything else was legendary. But since they nerfed the pint-sized summoner, I'm thinking you replace the pint-sized summoner with like 2 of the faceless tentacle thingies instead. So you can clone your legendaries and have 3 Deathwings. It'll be great.
I ended up doing the Druid build with 2 Walgrowths and 2 Innervates. and it really can get you ahead of the curve. I went with some Starfall just to keep the board cleared, and that's the only 6 non-legendaries in it. Everything else is just a giant pile of insanity. I kind of regretted Lord Master Cho a couple times just because I don't like giving my opponent Wild Growth, but at the same time, what are they going to do with it, you know? They're going to draw a card when they hit 10. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I actually got rid of almost all my spells to make sure that Lord Walker Cho was more effective.
Still, my favorite deck to date has been the Bananas deck. Did you ever come across that or hear anything about it?
Yeah, isn't that the one where you basically just like try and stuff the opponent's hand full of bananas so they can't draw cards? Yeah.
I'm worried
You use Brewmasters, right? You combo King Muckler with Brewmasters, so you keep throwing banana cards at the opponent. It's
you have to play
great.
Rogue for Shadow Step and Vanish, but the thing is, I'm just so worried about my opponent's potassium levels, you know? I don't want anybody having heart troubles, you know? You gotta keep your potassium up.
Well, potassium is highly explosive in the wrong conditions, so who knows?
And it's the best demoralizing thing you can do in the world is have some guy have some guy play a stupid creature, drop 6 bananas on it, and then hit Vanish or sap it, and it just makes him so mad. It's just so fun.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love making an opponent like take a card back, especially when they have put so many buffs on it, or just dropping that silence with the 2/1 owl. Just like, hey, I got a 2-mana owl. That 35 creature just got useless, completely useless.
Hearthstone, though, for the record, the perfect game for me. I've been playing collectible card games for 20 years. Magic the Gathering was the one that really got under my skin, and I've played every game since then that CCG-wise, and this is the only one that's ever like hit my brain in exactly the same way Magic did. It eats me up. I'm thinking about cards all day. When I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about playing it. I don't even have time for it. I've beat GTA 5. I've been too busy playing Hearthstone to play Grand Theft Auto 5. I waited for like 6 years for that game.
If you want a great example of why I enjoy Hearthstone more than Magic, be sure to watch that Spellslingers episode with me and Day 9.
How was that, by the way? I've not
oh, it was hilarious.
I don't want to spoil it.
Do you want to watch people suffer? Because that's a fantastic episode to do that. It's so good.
Oh, it was bad. I was the most unlucky human being that ever was that day. And, yeah, so go watch that. If you want to understand about just like drawing mana and just wasting your life, I'm glad that's not a thing.
Land.
Spoiler at the end, as I am just decimated, I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna use a special ability, and I like pull the top 5 cards off the deck and throw them down, and they're all lands. I was like, I'm done. Like I can't even cheat. I can't even cheat in this damn game. So I'm glad that that's not an issue in Hearthstone. You can get screwed sometimes, but you won't get land screwed, which is the worst because you can't do anything then.
Yeah.
Hearthstone, to me feels like all the things that I loved about Magic the Gathering with none of the frustrating parts. Yep. And so it's just so fun.
I read an article with the designer of Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield, the other day. He said the reason he felt that Magic became as popular as it was is because he did build luck to be a very important part of the game with land. And so sometimes you get land screwed, sometimes you get land flooded, sometimes nowhere in between. And there's always that RNG right off the top of the deck. You never know what you're going to draw. He said that it allowed people who weren't very good at the game the opportunity to get lucky and feel like they're good at the game. And when someone is bad at the game, they're always getting mana screwed. So it's never their fault they're bad. So you never have people quitting. You'll constantly have good
that makes
feels.
Sense.
Yep. And I think it's brilliant. Sorry about that. Sorry about sound levels there. But Hearthstone, their mana mechanic is exactly what I've always wanted. It's a dream come true. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I would kiss those developers. I would kiss them in the mouth.
Don't do that.
In the mouth, not on the mouth.
Yeah, right inside.
I've seen the developers. They've got diseases.
So do I. It's okay. We'll create the super bug. We'll end the world.
Exactly.
It'll be called the Blizzard. The White Walkers are coming.
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did.
That's pretty terrible. Yeah, I think that removing the land drawing mechanic was kind of a genius thing. His idea is really interesting. It's like, hey, yeah, if you're bad, you don't feel like it, so you buy more cards. Well, that's a cynical way of looking at it, isn't it? And it's almost like how WoW did it with raids. It's like, everyone can do it. You know, he has a participation medal. You tried. But, which is weird because Magic's now got a reputation of being like mechanically more complex than games like Hearthstone. It's a more competitive game than Hearthstone. There are more tournaments. So I have to wonder if that decision of his kind of did damage in that respect. But the game seems to be making money hand over fist regardless, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
I've spent about $1,000 on it in the last month myself, so they must be doing something right.
Hearthstone?
No. So Hearthstone,
I was like, is that possible?
I will tell you.
No,
sorry,
it's
no
not.
magic. Yeah, Hearthstone, I have spent more than I should, for sure. But I
I spent $250 on it.
I've maxed out the collection at this point.
You have everything?
So I have missing 1 or 2 epics and 1 or 2 legendaries, but I'm a 98%. I was doing Twitch streams. And people were pushing me to open packs, and I got a couple of donations, so I'm not going to turn away somebody's money. If they want me to have Hearthstone cards, we'll do it. And now, yeah, I've just about wrapped it up. It's awesome. Thanks to one of those people who are watching right now. Thank you very much. I've been able to do a lot of theory crafting and tune all the different decks and try to find out what cards are decent in each class. And I'm really hoping that when the game is ready for live, I can get some guides up and get some people on the right path to grinding out without spending money. You know, let me be the guy that spent all the money. And then when you're comfortable with the game, spend then, but don't feel like you have to. Get in there, earn some gold, play for free, get to know the game, then start buying, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And a lot of the decks that are really, really good are not reliant heavily on epics or legendaries or anything along those lines. Like one of the most competitive ones is like a Divine Paladin deck, and that's like, hey, use these cards to give a lot of Divine Shields to people. And pretty much all of those cards are common. It's fairly easy to do. Obviously, you want your Tyrian Fordring in there if possible, but I feel if you play a class, like building up the dust to buy the class's legendary is not that difficult.
Nope, and it's always worth it every time. Every class legendary is phenomenal.
That's
there's not a bad one. Van Cleef is, obviously because Rogue is just, and Rogue is just so bad now. Like it's so hard to build even a constructed.
It went from being like super OP to just like
it feels
they nerfed
good
it pretty
that Rogue
hard.
sucks.
Right, and I know,
yeah, it really does.
And I know that it's a lot of its perception. You know, I've been following class balance for 20 years. I know that when you make a change like this, a lot of it's how I feel about it. But trust me, I've been playing enough CCGs to know when I'm playing that Rogue deck, I feel impotent, but it's also because I'm freaking impotent. Okay, I can't make things happen, and it's making me mad. Yeah.
Revelations 2013 here on the show.
No.
There we go.
No.
Speaking of which, did you hear the news? Did you hear the news?
Please tell me they're not making a new one.
Someone asked the Revelations 2012 guys if they were going to make a sequel, and they totally are.
Oh, no!
yay!
No!
I've been so excited for a game.
I guess they've got to go above and beyond Day One Gary's incident, so hey, there you go. Oh God.
Goodness. Beautiful.
Dodger, what have you been playing this week? What have you been doing?
I was peer pressured into buying Pokemon. I haven't played it a ton. I've honestly just like played it a little bit before bed. I've been, as I said, super zoned into Monster Hunter. Oh my God. It snuck up on me because I thought it was going to be really boring. I thought it was going to be a really boring game. And, I wound up playing it for a brand deal that we have going for Polaris right now. And I was like, all right, I'll play this game. Fine. And so, our first video was like me, like literally playing for the very, very, very first time with a guy named Flick, who's on YouTube and is awesome, and he's super sweet. And he tried to kind of help me like learn how to play it. I was like, this game is so frustrating. Why can't they ever like actually hit anything? Nothing's dying. I got so frustrated.
As we can see, as Dodger's character runs as fast as humanly possible away from the creature.
That stupid like honey badger bear thing. I've now killed that in the regular like solo campaign. but I was just like, this thing. Every time it showed up, he was like, run, just run, just run. You can't beat this, just run. And I was like, ah! I was so angry.
I feel like your mentor is a weak coward because
Wow.
I trained my guys and we killed that bear on our very first go. And I led them to victory. And we hunted him down and we murdered that bear. We murdered him. And then, as my teammates were being assaulted by raptors, I looted the bear's corpse and took all the loot. So, how about them potatoes?
So, snap.
Master trainer is what I am.
Snap. But yeah, so just the competitive, because I was so bad in that first video, the competitive side of me was like, okay, by the time we do the second one where I'm supposed to have like trained, I need to be awesome. Like, I just decided I have to play this game so much that I'm awesome at it. And so I've been playing it nonstop. I'm now like addicted to that game. It's really, really fun. Way more fun than I thought it was going to be. So good job, Capcom. Well played.
The reason why everyone thinks that game is slow is because the first hour, 2 hours is slow.
Yeah.
It's really
I
boring.
agree.
Learning to play is boring as shit. Like, it's like, welcome to our town. Sit through 25 minutes of talking to people.
Oh, I just turned it off at that point, honestly. I'm just like, I do not have time for this shit. I'm going to play something else. And that's annoying because I actually played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on the PSP and really fucking liked it. But it's like, oh, great, you got to tell me the same shit that I already know and I can't skip any of this.
It is really boring. And then they send you to do boring-ass quests
Really
like,
boring quests.
go collect herbs. Like, oh my god. This is so stupid. Then it's like go farm monster points or whatever the hell it is. So you have to. It's really bad.
Resources.
Yeah, but then when you finally actually get past that and you actually go hunt things, as the monsters become bigger and more insane. Like the first monster that really wrecked me was that like I don't even know what the bird that like has like it's like a chicken, like a big evil chicken. F that guy. He shoots. He shoots fire out of his mouth and he's an asshole. And I do not like him, and so I leveled up highly to murder him. I got ranged weapons so I could shoot his ass down, and I felt really good about it.
Oh,
I was
man,
like, good face.
I'm all about the switch axe, and apparently there's a switch axe that has a big cat face on it, and every time you turn it into the sword, it goes meow. And I'm like, I need it! I need it! I'm so excited. So I have to collect a bunch of paw tickets, meow tickets. I don't remember what those.
I'm kind of surprised that you haven't just played Monster Hunter before, because like that is a game about cats. The entire game is actually about cats.
Yeah.
It is cat people.
They're
Yeah.
like good cats. They're evil cats. They're farmer cats. There's a sailor cat. I was like, cats everywhere. And the boots that I just got looked like cat paws. I was like, this is the best game in the world.
Did you have you I assume you did on the very first when you go to like the co-op town. If you're walking around in the bazaar area, you can go get your free meal ticket from the cat who just sings like meow 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 meow. I'm like, shut up, shut up! This is a stupid game. You're stupid cats.
It's so great.
The cats are hilarious. Like I watch all of the Monster Hunter intro cinematics because they always have cats doing stupid shit in them. It's great.
I was so sad though because like when I first started seeing cats like out while I was on quests, I kept seeing the like little sweet white cats, and I was like, oh, kitties, they're all so sweet.
Did they rob you blind? Did the cats rob you?
No, it's so sad because like the white cats are nice and the black cats are mean, which I think is really sad.
What?
But, like, kept seeing all the little white cats, and then I went into an area that had a bunch of black cats, and they like stole all my shit. I was like, no, what the fuck? I got so angry.
I don't think I
They're
could.
the best.
I don't think I can be on this podcast anymore. That's a little offensive to me.
The black
I'm
cats.
done.
Black cats have sticks with paws on them, and they beat you with them, and it's
Japan is known for its racial sensitivity.
You know, yeah. But
Look, I'm just saying.
Capcom in particular is known for its racial sensitivity.
specifically. Good job, Capcom. But yeah, lots of Monster Hunter. I played Stanley Parable. TB, I know you've played that.
You didn't really play Stanley Parable though. Stanley Parable played you.
Actually, you don't have to listen to him. You don't have to listen to him. You can do whatever you want. And then
Or can you?
there's the scene with the well, that's true. The scene with the doors though is actually really funny.
Everybody thinks you are very powerful, Dodger.
You guys are the worst.
if you ignore him when it comes to the two doors and you keep choosing what is the blue one, I think, hilarity ensues. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, but keep, no matter what, ignore when he says go to this door, don't do it. Keep going to the other door, and even when there's one door, just turn around, and the door's behind you again. Keep selecting the opposite door, and you get an amazing Easter egg. I'm just saying. Just do it.
This is totally me right now. I just finished downloading it, so I'm just putting my fingers in my ears.
Just don't don't be exposed to it. And we're not even gonna. I'm not even gonna put the spoiler thing up because it's gonna ruin it for Boogie, and I'm not okay with that. So I think everyone should experience it.
About it.
This is
let's not talk about it. I feel like I didn't know anything about that game, and I think that's the best.
That helped
way to
a lot. Yes, I absolutely agree.
I finally had to stop absorbing the internet, which is the one thing. Like, I'm not actually fat. I've just absorbed the internet, but I actually had to shut down all of my feeds. Had to shut down all of my feeds because I kept seeing screenshots of Stanley Parable, and I'm like, no, there needs to be more time in a day. I need to play that game.
Yeah. It's like, we do not talk about Stanley Parable's plot. I did my video yesterday, and I had to do one of the rare things where I do a post-edit and post-commentary on it, because, like, look, there is no way I can present this in a way that is fair if I just do my usual format. I've got to take some pieces, I've got to do some cuts to make sure that people aren't, like, overly spoiled, and so the kind of video ends when I want it to end, and it doesn't show too much, and even then, it's like, you cannot possibly avoid showing something, because the entire game is something. Everything in that game has some meaning in some way. So it's pretty difficult to do. And the fact that he's talking constantly makes the format difficult. I'm like, guys, I'm going to give you 2 big, long pieces of speech for you to hear. Everything else I'm going to talk over. You're going to have to get over this, because there's no other way to present this game.
Yeah.
Now, you also said, you advised me, and just for everybody else listening, that you should play the demo first, even if you plan to buy the game.
Yes, absolutely. It's the
I
demo.
haven't played the demo.
Yeah, the demo is, even if you've beaten the game, go play the demo, because it's actually a 25-minute... It's like a really short version of the game, but it's entirely different. The plot's different. They basically spent 2 months on it. They put out a post-mortem about that game, by the way. They've sold over 100,000 copies. They've basically made over $1 million on this already, which is phenomenal for them.
That's crazy.
That's so cool. And they said, look, we went against the common sort of industry wisdom is don't make demos because they cost too much. And there was some articles recently, well, actually maybe it was like a year ago, but that said demos can actually reduce sales. I'm like, what? I'm pretty sure you don't have justification for that. That's probably bollocks. But they cost a lot of money. And they said, look, we made a demo of this game. It took us 2 months to make it. Yeah, obviously we spent money to do it. But it basically meant that we got coverage on 2 games instead of 1. And from a marketing perspective, it was the best idea we could have ever come up with. That and changing a few lines in it and sending it to Game Grumps apparently was a good idea too.
Yeah.
If you want a really, really great look at the game without getting spoiled to the plot at all,
watch my video.
Besides that,
what the hell are you doing promoting other people's videos, Jesse, on this show? Absolutely,
no.
Okay.
It's their video. It's a really great. It's a pretty old commercial. I think I mentioned it last week. It's the Raphael trailer. Go look it up.
Yes.
Basically, it's an email they got from some dude named Raphael that's like, he hates their game and he's giving them advice on how to fix it. And it's the guy who does all the narration doing he's like, Raphael, right? Doing a voice. And then they change the game based on his suggestions and present the new game to you at the end of the trailer. It is hilarious. It's that kind of, it's amazing.
Gosh,
it shows you exactly what to expect.
Yeah. This is the game that convinced me that it's possible to kind of make a non-game that is still a viable and interesting experience, whereas Dear Esther kind of put me off the idea of it entirely. And then it's like, oh, you can kind of make this sort of virtual museum tour that has a degree of choice to it, but doesn't actually have, like, legit gameplay and proper failure states and things like that. And it's still, I still don't think it's a game, per se, but it doesn't really matter because it's still a really, like, good use of your time, and it's still highly entertaining.
As long as it's fun as shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it is, and it is fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah, Stanley Parable, which you were talking about. Was there anything else you were playing this week, Dodger?
Not really. I tried to play Damned, and their servers were down every time I tried to play it, so that didn't happen. And wait, what was that wagon game? The second you
Super Amazing Wagon Adventure?
The second you tweeted about it,
Super Amazing Wagon Adventure.
I haven't played it yet, but I have Super Amazing Wagon Adventure to play.
Why have you not played Super Amazing Wagon Adventure yet?
I don't know. It's apparently super amazing, so I'm really letting myself down.
It is a Super Amazing Wagon Adventure. It unfortunately spawned fanfics. Oh dear. Let's just say that there was a day in the game where the only two survivors were me and Jesse, and it didn't go well for any of us.
I totally forgot to shout out a game that I was playing this week that is actually really fun. That I guess they're being crowdfunded right now. I don't know. I might be on Indiegogo. I don't know. I believe it's called Gods Will Be Watching.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of this game. They have a Flash version of it, but they're trying to make a real game.
Right.
And the Flash version is basically you're stranded on a planet, and it's one of those decision games where everything you do, every turn you make decisions, and you only have so many decisions you can make in a day, and it affects your crew. So you have like a robot, and you have an engineer, and you have like a psychiatrist, and you have a soldier and his dog, and you have to keep them alive in order to be rescued. But each day, the things you do affect the next day, and so on. Plus, because you're stranded, you have to keep them mentally sane, but you only get so many choices, and so it's actually really great. And so I think the game they're trying to make, like there's one where you're in a nuclear bunker, and you trying to decide if you're gonna like launch nuclear codes. Like I'm like, I like the idea of this. It's really kind of cool. So that's what I was playing, and I'm not saying that I beat it, but I beat it, and I felt really good about it. It took me a while though. A lot of the time, I would either run out of food or my crew would go insane and kill each other. So that's the thing.
Well,
but I learned something from watching Survivor back in the day. Turn 1, first thing you do, get that fire started. Turn 1. Fire is life. I learned that from Jeff Probst.
It's true.
I think the reason why I like games like this is because I grew up reading Choose Your Own Adventure and fighting fantasy books. So when you translate that concept into a game and you visually show what's going on, that's actually pretty compelling for me. And those are one of the circumstances where I'm okay with the gameplay being very minimal, because you break it down to the bare essentials required to make choices. Yeah, and it's that simple act of making choices that makes it compelling.
I believe their website, if you want to play the Flash version of the game that only has like one level you can play, I think it's just Deconstruct Team. Yeah, Deconstruct Team.
/game/Gods Will Be Watching.
There you go, and you can play it there, and it's really fun. Give it a go. That's what I was playing this week, and I was like, oh, I'm getting this shit. I had a Dodger moment where I was like, I will not lose. I will not lose. I'm gonna keep playing until I beat it.
Won't.
Thankfully, games like this aren't that long, so I could keep retrying. But I want to give them a shot because I was like, I had a lot of fun playing that, and I totally forgot. So.
And I've discovered so many good video games from you today, Jesse. I can't wait.
It's pretty unusual. Jesse usually plays really bad video games, so.
On purpose, though. Let's be clear. And then people get mad, like, "Why are you playing this garbage?" I'm like, "That's kind of the point."
Because
it's garbage, yeah.
Yeah, because it's awful.
Delicious.
You still couldn't make your way through Ride to Hell. Angry Joe beat that game. Angry Joe man-moded that game, and you just gave up like a coward.
Did he? I feel like he's never been the same. I feel like he lost a part of him.
He actually died. I haven't seen a tweet from him since.
That's actually a fair assessment, come and think of it, yeah. It's like, he has been acting a bit weird lately.
He went to play that game and Angry Joe didn't come back. I don't know what that is.
Something else came back through the portal.
He literally rode to hell. TV, what have you been playing?
That's a great question. I've been playing something that I'll mention what I've been playing, but I can't tell you a damn thing about it because I'm still under embargo like everybody else, and that is the expansion to XCOM. So I have a video coming for that. Embargo goes up on I think it's the 23rd at 8 a.m. Eastern. So my video should be out tomorrow, assuming nothing goes wrong. I'm under embargo, so I can't tell you anything about it. But
is this the one they showed at PAX Prime, where it was they have like the new units and stuff? Like there's the armored. Oh, cool. All right.
I'm in a weird spot because I played it there and I'm now playing it and I'm under embargo, but I played it there and I wasn't under embargo. So I'm like, if I say anything about it now, does that mean that I've broken embargo, or I don't understand. So I'm just going to take the safer road and just not talk about it.
You're lucky. You got to play it. I was in a room with the rest of the scrubs watching a video that was literally 5 minutes. It's like, welcome to
Oh, you went in there?
XCOM.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, welcome to the expansion. Here we're going to show you some of the game. It was maybe 4 minutes, 59 seconds.
Yeah,
it
pretty
wasn't
much.
that long. And I was like, see you next time. I was like, that's it? Okay.
The back room, basically, where they had 2 PCs is where you played that, and I think I was in there. I can't remember the other guys that were in there with me, but I got to play a full mission from start to finish.
Wow.
And I got to fight against. So I guess I can talk about that bit. I got to fight against one of the new sectoid walkers. They didn't at that point. They didn't have the second enemy in, which is the Seeker, which they showed in a trailer afterwards, which is basically a cloaked assassin alien with tentacles that strangles people. And it's like the smokers from Left 4 Dead, where, like, they basically strangle you, and if you're out on your own, that's where you get screwed. And now I really want to play Left 4 Dead 2 versus mode again, because that was so cool. We need to play that again.
So good.
Oh, God, it's so good.
That was really fun. Oh, Jesse!
Oh, yeah, I remember. I just triggered him. Whoops.
No, Jesse! We could all be on a team! We could be on a team this time. It doesn't have to be us versus you.
That was where Jesse called it his harem, and it just didn't go well for him. Anyway, yes, let's not mention Left 4 Dead. That was a bad time in his life. He doesn't want to relive it. But we did kick his ass. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, the sectoid walkers and things like that, and it just, like, from what I played, it's like, oh, there's just a lot more options. The 5th class, which is the mech trooper, had a lot of interesting ideas with it. It's like, well, this class can't take cover, but it's also a mech. But there are a lot more consequences if that mech gets, this is something you heard in my interview. I'm really being careful here. It's like, 2K, I am not breaking embargo. Honest, I'm not breaking embargo. This is something that you showed me a month ago or whatever. But if the mech trooper goes down, not only do you lose the mech trooper, but the mech suit is damaged and requires part of this new resource, which you have to collect on the battlefield called Meld to repair. And
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty damn limited, and all of the buffs that you can give, like the gene modding that you can do, all requires Meld, and you rapidly realize, oh yeah, I'm having to take more risks to get as much Meld as possible, and because Meld is on a timer and explodes if you don't get it quick enough, you can't just do the whole move 3, Overwatch, move 3, Overwatch kind of thing that you used to do. So it encourages you to be a bit more reckless, which I actually kind of like. I liked during the PAX demonstration that I played that is not embargo breaking. Anyway, I'll have my full video on it tomorrow, and then you will know everything that I know on it. There's a lot more to talk about, like the involvement of the kind of rebel human faction and things like that. But yeah, I'll get pretty in depth. I think I've put 20 hours into the review build so far. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I went hardcore on that because it's XCOM. You know how I got, like, I put 90 hours into the original, even though I had a laundry list of problems with it. So yeah, I gave it time, and I'm going to give it some more time after the podcast is done, because that's when the video's getting made. But yes, aside from the fact that I just talked about that, I can't talk about that. And what else have I been playing? Hearthstone, obviously. I played a little bit less of it lately because I've been busy on other things. Like, I dipped back into Dota a little bit and then realized, yeah, I'm not playing this anymore unless I can find at least a partner to play it with, because it's too frustrating in public games. It's too frustrating. I can't handle it. It's like where you look back and you're like, could I have played any better to help my team win? And it's really hard to escape the conclusion that, nope, they were just terrible, and they wasted 50 minutes of my time. Like, it's like, oh, the support's not warding, and I'm trying to ward, but I can't because that involves me leaving the lane, and I lose experience, and I get behind the other guy's carry, and then they blame me for that. It's like, ward, for God's sake! Why do we keep getting ganked on the bottom lane? And it is just the most frustrating thing of all time. I can't handle it.
That is the game that actually turns me into Francis, just so you know. I couldn't. The exact same problem. Like, I knew I'm not that good, and I'm trying to learn, and then I finally figure my shit out, and then I'm trying to convince everybody else on the team to play correctly, and it's impossible. And even, no offense to my friends who I've played it with, they're not particularly good either. And it's just an exercise in futility and frustration.
Yeah, and that is Dota in a nutshell, unless you have a group of people with you that you're confident that you can work with. I think it's obviously like one of the best team games that exists on the planet right now, and it's highly compelling, but you need a bunch of people with you that you can rely on. And if you can't do that, you're going to have a massive frustration. Every time I've played with Purge, even though I've been playing with people that are against people that are far better than me, I've still had a way better time than I ever would elsewhere. And it's not like Dota exclusively has this problem. League has it as well.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
All of those games. Awesome Naughts may be less. You know, you can carry more in Awesome Naughts just by being great at the game. And it's a 3v3, so it's a little bit less reliant on that. But even games like Smite, they all have this problem. And good luck escaping it.
Speaking of which, this week we got our first look at the Blizzard.
Yes. Yes,
No,
yes,
well, no,
yes.
we didn't really. Like, they didn't actually tell us anything.
I believe it is basically those little cute chibi StarCraft characters is what that game's about, right?
No.
Carbot actually just made this game, and then Blizzard bought it.
Yeah, that's
That's what
exactly
I-
how it
I mean,
worked.
that's what I heard.
Can I just go on record here, if
all
anybody from
means.
Blizzard's watching this, if you do not put the Lost Vikings in that game,
No shit.
I
Thank-
will lose my shit.
Thank
Yes.
you. Also, what's the car guy's name from? Oh my god. Oh, it's one of their first games. I can't remember. Hold on.
Rock and Roll Racing?
Yes. What's that guy's name?
Wasn't even
Rock-
way he had a name. It was just Rock and Roll Racing, right?
Isn't there a guy? Isn't there a driver?
Let's look it up.
There's lots of drivers.
Rock and roll
A main one. I'm looking this up.
I don't know.
Like he's
racers against each other.
there it is. Snake Sanders. I want him.
Oh, you want Snake Sanders in there?
I want
Okay.
Snake or Jake Badlands or Katrina Lyons or Ivan Zeifer, Cyberhawk. All these people need to be in there. Look, you can't have your this is all of our games fun time without including some of these people. Viper McKay, make that happen. Make that happen.
Is this needs to be the Smash Brothers of MOBAs. This is what it needs to be. It needs to just be all of the
It's so strange
classic,
that you just said that. All right, so word to the wise. I was talking to people from Blizzard as I do regularly, and that is exactly what they just said. Like, it word for word, they said, we need this, and we are trying to make this the Smash Brothers of MOBAs.
That's awesome.
And then I slapped them
Beautiful.
around for calling it MOBA, and they're like, we can't legally call it Dota. So
Can you see
It's
the
true.
tear coming out of my eye right now?
The happy tear, the happiness
so
tear.
happy. Oh, I just want to hug somebody or kiss them, whatever. I'm
In the
down.
mouth.
you're not picky.
Inside of the mouth.
You're not picky. Yeah, and obviously we don't really know much about because it used to be called Blizzard All Stars, of course, and the stuff that we have for it is a little bit strange because it's very much out of date now, and we've got a bunch of footage. It's like this game might not look anything like this at all.
Oh shit! I totally forgot about Blackthorn. Oh, get him in there!
Get a bit of
Yes!
Blackthorn.
Intergalactic. Oh my god, yes. Blackthorn, I'm so excited. Oh, that's awesome. I'm in. I'm in for all of that.
I have to say that Blizzard and I have not always seen eye to eye.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't think anyone's ever been there.
But whatever they're doing over the past just couple of months, man, they are nailing it. They're just whoever's in charge right now, get that guy a medal. That's all I'm saying.
They've
They're
been doing
just
some good
nailing it.
stuff. I've got to admit, they're like, yeah, we made some mistakes. Let's completely change a lot of the problems with Diablo. Let's re-announce this. Oh, here's Hearthstone, and it happens to be great. But we'll see about this. It's still a little bit of a risk, I think, because even if it is Blizzard, we are talking about a genre that has some incredibly potent properties in it already.
Absolutely.
And I have to wonder, what can you do better? Like, we just look at Hearthstone and we're like, what did Hearthstone do better? Well, removing land, that's a good example. What can you kind of streamline from existing Dota-style games that actually makes the game legitimately better, but still enjoyable to people that are kind of hardcore. It's like, why do Magic players enjoy Hearthstone, even though it's a simpler game? Because it's still a fun game. Can they do that with the Heroes of the Storm, that they're now calling it, I suppose?
One of the things I really enjoy about Hearthstone, not to harp on it, I apologize for that, but
By all means, harp on it.
I really love the fact that they used the digital medium to do things that I could never achieve in Magic. Specifically, Magic will assign, pick a random permanent. And it's a very difficult, complicated thing to do when you are setting at an F&M or Friday Night Magic, and there's 20 cards on your side, 15 on his. You're trying to figure that out. The ability to summon a random companion off of the hunter card, the ability to choose a random minion play, the adjacent minion, so there's never going to be any cheating, because in real life I could rearrange my creatures when you weren't looking. I can't do that in Hearthstone. And the more advantage they take of that, the more compelling that game is going to be to a Magic player. And now that I've played the beta now for, I don't know, however many months, however long I've been in there, I'm ready for the next expansion. Like, I want more. I need more. I want them to really fully just embrace the fact that it's a digital game. It's going to stay digital, and we can achieve things no other CCG has ever done before. And that's going to be their bread and butter. And that's what's going to make me throw another ridiculous sum of money at them.
So, I just something I want to say, by the way, and this is hilarious. So, a game is currently going on right now on WCS Challenger, which has broken the record of the length of a competitive StarCraft 2 game. It has been going on for 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's technically 2 real hours, but it's 3 in-game hours.
Resources, right?
Wouldn't they have run out of resources a long time ago?
It doesn't matter, because they're both using armies that kind of can't kill each other. I'm looking at it right now. Mana, the Protoss player, is using an army which is... It's not completely air, but it's pretty damn close to being all air. There's a huge amount of Tempests, a Mothership, some Void Rays, and he's currently sitting on a bank of 17,000 minerals and what looks to be 2.8k gas. And then his opponent is using mostly Swarm Host and Spine Crawlers, which is the really annoying Grinder Zerg style, where, because Swarm Host just keeps spawning units and it never ever ends. And they're trying to fight each other, and they've cut the map in half, and they can't do it. And it's the most ridiculous shit. And oh my god, it would. You know what would actually be really nice is if this finally wakes Blizzard up to the fact that Swarm Host is a terrible unit and should never have been put in the game. Oh god. It's now Broodlord, Infestor, Spinecrawler, Swarm Host, and 20 Overseers. This is the dumbest.
3 hours. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it's about to end though. I think yeah, it's ending by the looks of it. I think he's just got sick of it. It looks like it is finally about to end. It's 84 supply to 179 for the Zerg.
Zerg wins.
Oh,
always.
This game is going to get a lot of people shouting and just saying, "Look, this was the dumbest thing," and they'd be right, because it is. It is incredibly stupid.
Who's gonna win?
The Zerg player. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-0 here. This is the best thing to happen to StarCraft in a while. It has 31,000 concurrent viewers on a Challenger League game.
Wow. Good lord.
No, this is actually terrible and should never happen again. Oh, God. Oh, God. I hate it when this happens in StarCraft. It's so rare. I've had to cast one, but...
Oh, my God. I can't imagine casting it. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, the poor Challenger League casters that have had to deal with this.
Oh, my God.
I think it was I cast a 1 hour 20 game at MLG between Bomber and Gosu user, and that was bad enough. Myself and In Control were just losing our shit by the end of it. Oh...
That's longer than this podcast. A game.
Yeah.
Longer than this podcast. And this is a long-ass podcast.
I can't imagine that's enjoyable. Was anybody casting that? You imagine having to talk for 3 straight hours about that?
That may have been the worst game that anyone has ever played of StarCraft 2 in the history of ever. Like, you might think, oh, that sounds like the best thing. No, it's the exact opposite of that. You don't understand. Oh, God. Yeah, that's 3 hours and 3 minutes of in-game time, which is about 2 hours of real time because the clock on StarCraft runs fast for some reason. But Jesus.
That carpal tunnel syndrome right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's a terrible thing. Oh, man. So, yeah, I actually did play a bit of StarCraft. I won a game on the Korean ladder. I accidentally logged onto Korea and played a game and won it. And I was really happy with myself. It's like, right, great, I'm ready for MLG any minute now. I've beaten a Korean. It was probably like a 7-year-old Korean, but whatever. Been playing a little bit of StarCraft, kind of getting back into it, shaking the rust off. I do this like every couple of months. I'll go back and play StarCraft for a while, then I'll not play it, and then I'll play it again, and I'll never, ever improve. But there's that. It's like, is there anything else that I've actually been playing aside from that? It's like,
Candy Crush?
No, none of that. I don't
What
play
game?
Candy Crush. I do not play your casual games. And
I'm actually... let me complain about that game for just a minute.
by all means.
Please do.
So, my wife is a casual gamer, and she likes board games. She likes social gaming. She'll play a little Magic from time to time. And she's not really into Facebook games, but Candy Crush came along, and it definitely got under her skin. But we are both the kind of gamers where we don't want to be exploited. We don't want you to sell me cheats. Like, that's not a way to play a game for me.
Yep.
So, we refused to spend any money on the game. And then at one point, we got stuck on a level, I guess, we're the exact scenario, or exactly what they're looking for. We get to like level 200 something, and we finally beat it. And instead of spamming my Facebook friends, we want instant gratification. We want to go on to the next chapter, so we spend that $1. I'm telling you, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm telling you on the app version, I think once we spent money, I think the game got strategically more difficult. I think they ramped the difficulty, because from that moment forward, those levels have been nigh impossible. I think they're like,
Really?
oh, I think this person has spent a little bit of money. And so we're stuck on like level 298. And I've watched walkthroughs, and I'm so mad about it. I'm just like, I've thrown the iPad across the room after the 50th attempt.
Well, there's a video for you.
Oh,
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now it will float with the new iPad Air. Buy one today.
Candy Crush. I
mean,
crushed
I
my iPad.
I think
My
the
God.
longest I've been stuck on a level is like 2
Well,
or 3 weeks.
What level are you on?
I'm in the mid 200s.
Okay.
I'm like 240 something now.
When you get to level 298, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to call me, and I want you to
Okay.
let out all of the frustration and
Be
anger.
like-
We will hug, and we will cry, and we'll just bond over it, because it's the worst. It's the worst.
I know that there's a level that they actually just patched the game because of this one level that was like almost impossible. And they were like, oh, people are getting really angry about this level. And so they changed it.
My
Like, maybe more moves
mother-in-law
or something.
plays Candy Crush, and my actual mother plays Candy Crush, and they compete. And then sometimes when my mother-in-law comes over to our house, she complains about it, and it is the most boring thing ever. I'm just saying,
That's
it's actually terrible.
Amazing.
It's
I
all,
like that
and
game.
the worst part about it is it's such. I mean, it's the match 3 concept. It's all the pieces are there. There's not a lot of innovation to it. The innovation that's there is interesting. I don't understand how that got under my skin. Like, I'm not easily susceptible to much of anything in this world other
Really?
than cheeseburgers.
Really?
honestly, yeah. You know. Oh, I
Not
saw
anger.
it.
Not anger. Not rage.
No, I am one of the kind. I am. God damn it, Jesse.
You're a paragon of humanity, Boogie, and let nobody tell you different.
But man, that stupid game. Oh.
They
Whoa.
definitely made it so that like the way that they set up, once you get to that point where they're like, oh, do you wanna pay to move on to the next area? Or do
You want to
wanna
maybe
do
skip
quests
this?
to
You
move on
want
to
to
the next
maybe?
area?
Oh, it is a very manipulative game, and obviously a lot of iOS and
Yeah,
Facebook games like that are very much like that.
And my mom didn't realize that she could just do the like daily quests to move on. So she was like, now this game wants me to pay. And I was like, you don't have to pay. They just make it
To
irritating
make it
to
seem
move on.
like you have to.
All right.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, thank God you're here to tell me
Oh, it's
that."
horribly
She was
exploitative.
just like, so angry. So
And then when it went live, it had a $40 in-app purchase, and I guess it doesn't have that anymore. But it had a
Oh,
$39.99 in-app purchase for a paintbrush that once per game you could paint a candy striped. and then you'd have a stripe in that
Oh,
row.
it reminds me of that bloody eagle that was in Angry Birds that you get to like use once an hour or whatever to completely obliterate a level, and you had to pay for that as well. And why we're complaining about that, I was like, oh, who would pay $40? Like, let me just get some more Hearthstone packs. There we go. And it's,
Right.
we're just as susceptible. We are just as susceptible.
I saw a video game called Time Traveler made by Sega during the 90s. And if you've never heard of this game, it's a hologram game. So it's an arcade cabinet that produced a hologram, and I remember playing it when I was a teenager. I remember seeing it, and it was like $1 to play, and then like it was so expensive, but you have to try it. It's a hologram. It's the future, right? And so I see it linked on Reddit yesterday, and I watch somebody play the gameplay video of it, and halfway through the game, like as you get near the end, they actually have in-app purchases in the arcade game in which she says, do you want to buy some more reversal cubes? If so, insert a quarter. Trust me, you're going to need them. And I was like, I'm so mad all the time about in-app purchases, even though I buy stuff all the time. And there's a part of me that just frustrates me. But then I remember I was doing that in the 90s too. I was an arcade kid. I was plopping quarters. I was hitting.
It's a fair point, isn't it? You know, it's basically the translation of the arcade into handheld devices, and it's a very similar business model. But that doesn't mean the arcade business model was any good. And let's be honest, like if I go to an arcade now, I am willing to pay money for those games because I get an experience I can't get at home. Like I go to arcades to play light gun games because it's the best. I go to arcades to play stuff that has kind of a cabinet that you go inside, and I pay for Let's Go Jungle. Because why wouldn't you pay for Let's Go Jungle? Because it's the most incredible thing. It's how you bond with your soulmate by killing frogs with oars. It's just...
It's fantastic.
It's an incredible game. It's Sega's masterpiece.
They have a pirate one too.
Dead Storm Pirates is incredible. Dead Storm Pirates will always be incredible.
Fantastic game, yes.
There's one last thing I would like to talk about before we go to a break, because we are, getting to that point. Something that I was playing. I played a bit of Chivalry Deadliest Warrior, the actual...
Oh, the new Chivalry game.
Yeah, the pre-release is out now. I played it at PAX, but now I'm playing it with the new build, which has ninjas and pirates and knights in it as well. And I believe the last class is Vikings, and they haven't implemented those yet. The pirates...
What? So excited. Sorry.
The pirates are hilarious because all anyone does as a pirate is stand in a fucking firing line and shoot muskets at people. And that's it, because they suck at melee. They are not very good at melee combat at all, but you've got guns. So it's like, all right, let's get in a firing line. It's like the bloody Civil War. It's quite silly, but it's very fun. And I think probably the most fun class right now is the ninja, because you can throw throwing stars without switching to the weapon, so you can do it very quickly. And you've also got a roll, which is very powerful. You are weak as shit. You die very quickly, but the ninja is pretty damn good.
Samurai
Awesome.
it up, dude. That's how you win that shit. For the show.
Samurai's pretty good. Samurai's kind of... a little ridiculous, because you can get a really good bow and you can also get a really good sword and be good at both, instead of the archer in the original Chivalry where you just suck in melee completely. So yeah, the samurais are pretty damn good all around. The Spartans really hard to kill because the shield is like the size of the moon, so it's hard to get past that.
I forgot there were Spartans. That's
There
like one
are.
of the main things too. I forgot. Oh, I want to be a Spartan.
Oh, there's so many things.
Oh, the problem is just
There's a shout Sparta button, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a bunch of
It's
assholes
there.
just going to keep spamming it. It's
Yep.
like when I found out that you could spam Fall Rock as a dude, and I kept doing it over and over again. So it's like, I don't know what this guy's saying, but I'm going to keep shouting it.
Yeah.
Like, yep. So now
Yeah.
the Sparta button. I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty fun so far. I need to see if they do any good objective play, because right now it's like, oh, multi-team deathmatch, which is just like all the different kinds all fight each other, so there's like 5 teams, which is pretty funny. But the thing that kept me in Chivalry was the objective-based mode, and if they don't really have anything like that, I probably won't be too interested in playing a lot of it, because I think the way that the objectives worked in the original Chivalry just blew my mind. It was so very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Original Chivalry was really good. So
Speaking is hard.
Yeah.
The pussy is good.
That's the sign we need to go to a break. You need to rest your brain, as do all of we. So
Rest brain.
Rest your brain.
rest your brain, kids. It'll rot and fall out of your ears. We will be right back after this short break. You are watching the Co-optional Podcast. Do not go anywhere. No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. You heard the sounds of Etna Boogie from the Disgaea soundtrack, which is fantastic.
What can we do? If we're gonna do boogie things, can we do the Ultros Boogie too?
The what?
Oh, the Ultros Final Fantasy VI. He has a Japanese song called the Ultros Boogie. Look it up. It's fantastic.
I don't know if I can find that, but I will try.
Oh, you can. It's on the YouTube, and it's amazing.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, if we're doing all boogie songs today, I've got a lot. Yeah,
that was the plan, actually. Yeah, I've got a boogie. Let's see. On my soundtrack collection, if we look for boogie, we have O2 Boogie Fever. I don't know what that is. The Disgaea soundtrack. There's a remix of Super Dodgeball Murder Your Friends Boogie, which is interesting. Lux of Flux, character called Boogie in Vigilante 8 Second Offense. And Todd Rowlands and his orchestra with Chick Bullock, the Boogeyman. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, those candies are so
those are legit. Those are the legitest.
Those are so delicious.
There was nothing more legit.
I want to go to
This was
there.
sent to me. This was sent to me, and I'm going to eat them because
Check for
I've never
injection marks before you go there.
Here's the thing, they're all individually wrapped too. This is a smart thinking fan. If he's gonna murder me, he's gonna do it with style.
Yeah, because you would never suspect. Because they're all properly sealed up. Yeah, those things
never had these before.
oh, they're so good. They're ridiculously
God.
good.
What are they?
This is the first time in the history of receiving strange gifts from fans that is actually really good.
Yeah.
Except Tim Tams.
They
Tim
are,
Tams
yeah. They are Japanese gummy candies. There's also like a kind of a hard version of them as well. The reason they're really, really good is because they taste almost exactly like the fruit they're supposed to taste like.
It tastes like a peach. It's fantastic.
Yay.
Yeah. There's a kiwi one, which is really, really good. And the strawberry one's good too.
The grape ones are really good.
Yeah.
This dude also sent me a giant dragon that was made for me. It now sits on a desk and it looks fantastic.
You'll have to post a picture of that.
Thank you.
You see, all I get eraser top hats, which is very useful for the one time every 10 years I use a pencil.
Use a pencil? Yeah.
And then there was, of course, the anthrax, which someone sent. Yeah, that was very, very kind. And I also have some cuddly STDs. They gave me the clap.
Oh my god, I love those.
They gave me herpes.
They're so cute. I love those.
This week I received from our good friend Mark Chen, again, who sends me to give the TV, but I never do, weapons and various things.
What? Give me my shit! What the hell's wrong with you? You're just stealing everything.
I'll give you the weapon. Here's the thing, though. He gave me Robert Baratheon's battle hammer. It is giant and metal and amazing. Also, good news, for those of you who are health conscious.
That's a green tea Kit Kat, by the way. These are incredible.
Have you had the wasabi one? I've always wanted to know if
I haven't had the wasabi one yet. I really want to try them. I can't.
There are wasabi Kit
Ow!
Kats?
Stop hitting me with that. What? There's a strawberry
Wouldn't
one
that be
too.
the best?
Yeah.
Just that spice that's... I can't.
Yeah, there's
Gotta
a
go.
strawberry one. I can't open this.
For people out there wondering, who are curious,
what are you doing? Open this.
each one of these gummies is around 13 calories. So if you're health conscious,
Mail me some.
you could eat 1 million of these, and you would be just fine. You'd probably be sick. You'd be just fine.
A million of them,
right.
and you'd be perfect.
Here you go, folks. That is a green tea Kit Kat.
Oh.
It is
That looks
green.
weird.
It's delicious. I hate green tea, and it's delicious.
Really?
Green tea's
How am I
fantastic.
the one guy that didn't bring snacks? Like, I'm the fattest guy on your podcast ever, and I did not bring snacks. Where are my snacks?
I always have snacks on my desk.
Well, we
so.
can't let you beat us on that one. That's not okay.
This is the first. Yeah, look, this is the
That's
thing
a
that happens.
strawberry one.
Usually we sit here angry that Dodger's like eating a feast. Today I came prepared. I was like, nope, I'm gonna eat this delicious.
I was gonna
candy.
during the break. I thought about heating up some soup, and then I was like, no, it's a bad idea. That never goes well. The police agree.
I'll just eat my multivitamin for the day. Lonely. Sad.
Do you have real multivitamins? Do you have Flintstone vitamins? Because those are amazing.
The gummy ones, right?
I got the generic gummy. They're good for you.
Gummy vitamins are great.
It's like a gummy vitamin, except it's in Japan and not at all.
Nutrition.
Those Kit Kats are the legitest. I gotta say, like they are so much better.
They're too legit to quit.
It's true.
Too legit.
And now people are really offended because apparently, if you don't, I ate the Kit Kat before breaking it, so everyone's really upset.
DB, give me a break, man.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Damn it,
Other things I don't do include licking the cream out of Oreos.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. TV, you eat all cookies and candies wrong. I've decided.
Yep. I don't do it.
Now I suppose just eat ice cream sandwiches like normal too.
Mm-hmm. What's a weird way to eat an ice cream sandwich? I just normally just chew it. What do you do?
What, do you just kind of twist it apart and just kind of eat it like this?
Wait, whoa. An ice cream sandwich?
Yeah.
What the? No, you eat it like a sandwich. Why? Then just get a bowl of ice cream, you psycho.
I think we have revealed something here. The weirdo is in fact you. How the hell do you eat it then, Dodger? How does that work?
So there's like the chocolatey bits on either side, right? And then either vanilla or Neapolitan, depending on which ice cream sandwich you get. So you eat one side of the chocolate and the other side of the chocolate, and then it's kind of like you have a chocolate handle for the top ice cream bits.
Oh my god!
You are a mad woman. What are you doing to food? This is like a concentration camp for food.
You are demented.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. That's exactly
You perform.
right.
You perform unethical experiments on ice cream sandwiches.
Yes.
What? I don't understand though.
You are the angel of death of ice cream.
By the time you perform that stupid ritual, it's already melting. You've missed the point of an ice cream sandwich.
As a
Just
kid,
get ice cream on a stick. What is your problem with you? Oh my god.
no, here's what I used to do as a kid is I would lick along every single edge until my
Go
tongue
on.
so my tongue couldn't reach it anymore, and then it was like this little tiny bit of ice cream with the full chocolate wafers on either side.
What was the point?
It's fun! TV! Ice cream sandwiches, go buy them.
Not that way. Don't eat them that way.
Don't do that! Eat them that way! Do the lick thing, it's fun.
There is apparently, my friends were telling me about this, and I don't know which restaurant is doing this, some fast food here in the United States. They got the brilliant concept of taking a strawberry Pop-Tart and breaking it in half.
Oh my god, what is that?
Carl's Jr., right? Or
what?
is it Wendy's? Carl's Jr. or Wendy's?
No, it's either Jack in the Box or Carl's Jr. It's one of the two.
So they
Because we
snap,
snack-
So what do?
they snap a Pop-Tart in half, then they slam strawberry ice cream in the middle, and they glue it together with the Pop-Tart, and all I could think was two things. Number one, how did it never occur to me to do that here at home?
Right?
And number two, how do I get to there? Because I want to go to that place.
No, here's the thing.
And live
Fast
there.
food places are lazy now. Because when you see commercials, I'm like, that explains why I have no desire to go back there. Because here's the thing. Burger King now is like, we're going to put French fries on our hamburgers. Like a 6-year-old did that in 1947. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a big... And it's like, no, we're going to sell that now. That's what, you know what? Fast food.
God.
I've grown beyond you.
There has been a lot of lazy stuff with, if I go to fast food, I want to go there to get fast food that I can't otherwise get,
Exactly.
If I go to Bojangles and I eat a chicken biscuit, it's because nowhere else will give me that chicken biscuit, and I know it's bad for me, but it's freaking delicious, so it's okay. I do not go to get Oreos or stuff that I can buy in a store.
Right.
That's a waste of my time. The furthest you can go with it is like a McFlurry with some kind of branded sweet in it, Like an
Right.
M&M's McFlurry or something like that. Okay, fine. But
Can we also have a conversation about, did fast food places just discover the pretzel bun? Is that a
yes,
thing
they did.
that is just
my God.
Fucking everywhere
Literally
has.
last
Because
week,
everyone
they
has a
got the
pretzel bun
memo.
now. They're like, pretzels. We'll put it on a pretzel.
Yeah.
We'll never think of, like,
Every chain restaurant I've been to in the past month has had some form of pretzel thing, and most of them being pretzel burgers, pretzel sandwiches, or something like that. Every bloody one of them.
Yeah.
mess.
And none of them are particularly good, for the record.
I was going to say, I'm like,
no.
that.
No,
Yeah,
they're
it's
not.
like, it's okay.
I'd rather
It's
just
not
get
a-
a blend.
My biggest concern is here in the U.S. A lot of our food has gone, like the Applebee's, Chili's, like that used to be 20 years ago. Chili's used to be this great place to eat. Applebee's used to be this great place to eat. And I saw
Now they're
a
just the
picture.
worst.
Someone ordered it was a ice cream with chocolate inside of it, wedged between two wafers of. Basically, they ordered this to go. And I saw a picture of it on the plate in the restaurant. It looks okay. What it was an Oreo Klondike bar. And so when they sent it to them to go, they didn't even take it out of the wrapper. They just put it in.
They just gave him an Oreo Klondike.
Yeah, like here's the Oreo Klondike that we're. So you go to this restaurant and you buy this literally 92-cent Klondike bar, and they put a little chocolate sauce on it, $4.99. It's like the worst. It's just that you go there for them to reheat your food for you. And I can do that at home. I can literally do that at home.
Well, the problem is they can't do it. The last we accidentally went to Applebee's. I think we're in South Carolina. It was a bad day.
Sorry it happened
We
here.
just
Accidentally went.
outside.
It was the
the
only
weirdest
thing we
thing.
could find. It was out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, there's an Applebee's. I guess, they can't fuck up a burger, right? Wrong. Yes, they can. It came and it was a black hunk of meat. It was charred to all fuck. It's like, yeah, I'll have my burger medium because I don't trust them to do medium rare. So I'm like, nobody fucks up medium, right? Yes, they do, as it turns out. And we'd never gone there again. Oh.
And I want to give a shout out to the Wow Krendor for making me a ginormous food snob. That kid does not
We got snobbier lately, I gotta say.
Oh, he is super like, I will only eat organic and it will only come from naked farmers in Maine. And it's like, you know what?
That's pretty much Maine in a nutshell, right?
Because I'm telling you, every day I see stuff, I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
and I'm like, 10 years ago, I would have been like, that looks great. Like, nope.
I have to tell you, I mean, obviously, if you guys follow me at all, I've been struggling with the weight loss, and I've lost
Join the club.
40 pounds in the last year, which is
Congratulations.
For you, that would be phenomenal. For me, that's like a drop in the bucket. I've got a long ways to go, but I'm grateful that for the first time in a year, I've trended downwards. But one of the things I've learned in that year is that eating very high nutrition, high satisfaction based foods is important. And it's surprising, like we switched over from just the generic steak at Walmart to the grass-fed option that they have there, and it tastes better. It's more fulfilling.
It tastes so much better.
Yeah, and it's twice as expensive, but I have to remind myself that I need to eat half as much food to live, so it works out to as much as I was spending anyway.
Yeah. And it's a fair point.
It's a fair point.
I used to have this constant cycle of just being hungry all the time, because I was eating these zero nutrition foods that I was getting at, and once me and my wife sat down and we made a real diet plan that involved real food, that's when we really started nailing it down. And low carbohydrate was a big part of it too. But
yeah,
low carbs is the thing.
So it's hard for me to even go to restaurants anymore. Like that used to be my thing. Like me and my friends, 2 or 3 nights a week, just go out, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. I was a social eater. It's how I got so big. And now it's a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before I step foot in one. It's weird.
We're kind of snobby because, we go to places like Vegas and we eat, everywhere in Vegas is just incredible. I don't order restaurant burgers anymore because I've had Holsteins, and it's just mind-blowingly good. So, what's the point? And I'm more of a steak snob now than I used to be because I've been to Ruth's Chris and I've been to Donovan's. As did Jesse. Jesse remembers that. I took Jesse to Donovan's. It was me, Jesse...
Davis, I think?
It was Davis, wasn't it? Yeah, Davis and my wife. We all went to Donovan's, and
it was a night, man.
It was a night. It was a good night. And since then, I'm like, there's not, I used to like Outback. I really did. And I think it came down to the fact that it was the first steakhouse in America I ever went to when I went to BlizzCon. The first night, the story from WoW Radio is this. We all basically had, basically no hotel rooms. It kind of sucked. Everyone was really depressed because we were having tech issues and everything. And nobody wanted to go out. They just wanted to sit in and eat chips. And me and Kiki, it was our first time in the US. And we're like, fuck it. We're gonna go and get steak. So we walked down the strip in Anaheim.
That's awesome.
Wait, you passed the Morton's that is clearly on the corner. It was like, we're going to Outback.
Yep. We couldn't afford Morton's. You kidding me? Jesus. Back then... I was working at Game back in 2005. I could barely afford the flight out.
I would rather save up for 5 weeks to go to a Morton's than splurge and go to Outback.
Yeah, I totally agree. But we went to Outback, and that was the first steak I'd really ever had that was good, because all steak in the UK sucks. So I had this fondness for Outback, and now I just barely even want to go to it. And it's probably for the best. Whenever we go out to eat, it'll be because there's something at that place that we really like, and we're going specifically for that. Because that's the one good thing they really, really do. The soup at Carrabba's is amazing.
You can just go to the grocery store and go to your butcher section and be like, hey, guy, can I have that meat that is back there? You salt and pepper that bitch? You got something just as good, if not better.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah.
I gotta say now, I'm recently married, about 3 weeks. We're married 3 weeks now.
Congratulations. We
Thank
just
you very
celebrate-
much.
we just celebrated 6 years, so we're a little bit ahead of you, but
Congratulations, man. That's a good run. Well, we've been together now for 3.5 years. We've known each other. We lived together for about 3. One of the best parts about it is actually having a home cooked meal. Because I did the bachelor thing. I was eating out of cereal boxes and Pop-Tarts, just the whole thing for 20 some years. I lived with a girl here from time to time. None of them were particularly skilled in the kitchen. My wife is phenomenal, and she's cooking all these wonderful healthy meals for us. And it's just like the thought of going to a restaurant actually kind of turns my stomach now, because she does such an amazing job just with what we're getting at Walmart, and occasionally Whole Foods. And man, the food is so much better there. I feel bad because my wife
5 times more expensive. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
They
Like my
rip
wife-
you off.
My wife works for Walmart, and she works up at the corporate offices, and of course, how Walmart does directly impacts me. We live in Northwest Arkansas, the home of Walmart. We're the epicenter, and so I always want to shop at Walmart. I always want to plug Walmart a little bit, but you guys need to work
Walmart
on
really
your state
desperately needs that
situation.
advertising. They're very, very underrated.
It's a little indie company called Walmart.
You probably haven't heard of them.
But they need to work on their steak situation. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed.
Need to work on the steak situation.
Yes. All right, let's get back to games, shall we?
Ow! Let's do the news. All
right.
There's news happening.
You know what's really annoying about the news is we went to look for some news this week, and all the top stories are about me. This is...
Yo, yeah. That's gotta be
That's-
the worst, buddy.
that's a
gotta be
good
fucking-
problem to
that's gotta be
have.
horrible. Oh man, now I have 2 million views on my video. Oh,
Enjoy your trickle down, Jesse. God damn it. Be grateful for that trickle down.
should post another Terraria video is all I'm saying.
I've got 2 more in the pipeline. You know it. We've got it sitting on the FTP right now, ready to go. And it's like, not going to post it yet, because I need my XCOM video to get tomorrow, and then maybe... I got to post it when I'm moving, because I'm supposed to be moving this week. So there's going to be a time when I probably won't have that many videos. So, because I won't have a computer set up, but we'll try and make it as quickly as possible. Yeah, anyway. Yes, just enjoy that trickle down. So yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a thing, unexpected.
I gotta say, man, if it's okay, I'm not gonna get on the soapbox here a little bit, but being this whole YouTube personality thing I have right now, it's my livelihood. It's absolutely my livelihood. In the past couple of months, the past year or so, I've been contacted by a lot of game companies who've talked to me about, we would really like you to check out our games, like to review them, things along that lines, getting review codes, and I'm always very hesitant. I have to get very express permission with a company. I have to, and I'm my own agent right now, as you guys know. I've never been networked, so this is all on me. It's time consuming. It's difficult, and I'm flying blind. I'm literally flying blind. And so when you took that bullet for us, brother, I loved you for it. And I made a video about it, and I hope you saw it. But I wanted to say here, thank you personally for getting up on that soapbox, for fighting what's right, for making sure that YouTube is aware of how abusable this situation is, to make sure that game companies that choose to abuse this will pay a penalty. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd hug you through this computer if I could. I love you for it. I already loved you, but I love you a little bit more for it. Thank you. You're protecting my livelihood, and not just mine, but I mean, I've talked to thousands of hopefuls who are hoping to get to where, at least where I am today, and maybe where you are one day. And you're paving the way for them. You're protecting them, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and we love you for it, brother.
And this is what happens when you say stuff like this. My head suddenly starts to expand. What's happening? I don't fit in the frame anymore. What is it? Yeah. So that's you got to be careful with stuff like that, because I have a tendency.
Well, just do me a favor, wipe your ass off, get my lipstick off of there, and we'll be okay.
I'll keep it as a memento of our time together. All right. Yeah, so, I mean, the basic reality of the situation is everyone on this show relies on YouTube for their income, and the first people say, why do you put all your eggs in one basket? It's like, what other basket is there for this kind of thing? You want to tell us where else? I'm thankful that I have a fairly successful Twitch channel as well, and we have paid subscribers for that. So, if YouTube suddenly exploded tomorrow, I'd probably be okay. But that's not everyone does. Like, it's a very small minority of people that actually have a good, like, paid subscriber base on YouTube and on Twitch, and are able to get those views and things like that. is it unreasonable? I mean, there are plenty of companies, of people that work for companies that rely on a company. Like, in fact, that's pretty much everybody, right? It's like you can basically say, I work for Google, and it's like, oh, why are you reliant on Google when you work for Google? It's like, you're relying on whatever company you're working for. Right. If they fuck up, then it's going to directly impact you. You're probably going to be the first one to go. So you can relate.
Why are you so invested in Mitchelson and Sons? You guys, you're doing accounting for, buddy. Did they go under? You're screwed too.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, yeah, that's how jobs work. Huh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, and this is the problem, and I've noticed this becoming an old man. I've noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Kids these days, old man number one.
Oh, these kids these days.
Dr. Pigeon Squeal has a few things to talk about, guys.
Ladies.
And I feel like I was probably this way when I was younger too. So it's not kids these days, but it's just the younger folk in general. When it comes to the majority of jobs, are just like, oh, I hate this job, and everything I do here sucks, and I don't want to be here, and this is stupid, and like, why do I have to do like? There's always a disconnect until you like get older when you realize like, oh shit, I need this in order to function in reality, or else I'm screwed. So like, it's a there's a problem there. When people are like, why do you guys deal with that? Like, we have to, or else I will be on the boardwalk in Santa Monica with the other homeless people.
Yep.
If I switch to Blip tomorrow, how many of you are actually going to come over? Like, really? Like, I will lose 95% of my subscriber base in a matter of minutes. And that's a huge risk. I mean, you're basically saying burn the biggest bridge in the world, burn the second biggest search engine on the planet to go to a different service where you think you might do a little bit better because there's less risks involved. But the huge risk is that you lose your audience. If you lose your audience, good luck ever fucking getting it back.
You know? And this is, and I can prove that point 100 times over. I have a lot of friends, and I know, TB, you know a few people who, when YouTube was first starting to transition into like, we're going to pay people to do this. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were like, it seems like we're getting ripped off. I can do better on my own. I'll make my own website and get with some other thing.
Yeah.
And every single one of those people ran back to YouTube.
Every one of them.
Every single one. Because it didn't work out. And YouTube...
Posting your own videos is ridiculously expensive. Yep. And not to mention the fact you then have to figure out, well, who's going to serve my ads? Do I have to go out and find my own ads and sponsorships? Is that how it's going to be? Do I get an ad agency, which could be worse than Google AdSense is? And
let's be entirely honest, for the record. Like, yeah, it's the only game in town, so it's the only option we have, but it's not a bad option. Like, they take pretty decent care of us. It's not the worst. They could certainly jerk us around a lot more than they do.
Yeah.
You know, not that they're not jerking us around.
Oh, they are, yes.
You know.
But it's like a frontier, and there are a lot of predators. There's a lot of really predatory companies who are like the channel that Krendor and I have, Cox and Krendor, we're not signed with anyone on that channel. It's just us and YouTube.
Yeah.
And so every day when I scroll through the things that are like the private messages, 90% of them are from people that like companies that I've never heard of. They're like, you should join our channel and join. I'm like, no. It's obvious you guys are trying to prey on us, and you just have to watch out for yourself.
Who just weighed as many offers as he could get. As I'm trying to make my big push towards 1 million subs, if I get really lucky, we're at 810,000 now. As I push towards 1 million, I'm trying to make sure that this is my future. This is not just my future, my wife's future. Yep. And people talk about that YouTube money. Oh, you've got so much. I don't have that much, number one, but the money I get all goes into the bank. I live off the same budget today as I did 4 years ago.
Man after my own heart. Thank you. Even though it's one of my brain.
Most of my money goes to other people. You know, I have an esports team to support and my employees. That's where the majority of my capital goes.
Exactly.
They are relying on me not to fuck up, and they are relying on Google not to fuck me over.
So if anybody gets screwed, if any one of us gets screwed tomorrow, we're all in free fall. And that's
if YouTube's gone tomorrow, again, I am thankful I saved money because I would be broke as balls. And that's just life.
Yeah, but it's such a precarious. It's the best job in the world. Like, you know, everybody has to eat. Excuse my language. Everybody has to eat shit at their job, and the shit we eat is particularly sweet. But we're still doing it. You know, I mean, that's But as we're approaching that 1 million sub march, I'm really, really excited. And I've been negotiating with several networks and a lot of different things on the table. Your network has absolutely been phenomenal in my contact there. And we're trying to make sure that we're getting the best possible deal. But in that, I have met so many sleazeballs.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure.
I can't, like in some of these low pitch offers. Like I don't think I'm not. I'm a little narcissistic because you have to be to do this job.
Yes, you
but
do.
I don't think I'm Superman. But I also don't think I'm worth a 50-50 split, buddy.
That's
like
bullshit.
what are you talking about? Like you know.
Did I ever
don't
tell you the story of what happened before Husky got me onto this network and the offer that I almost took?
Love to hear it.
I'm pretty sure I've never told anyone this, but since that company, I don't think even exists anymore. So a company came along and they said, we want to start off a StarCraft 2 kind of esports thing. We want you to be our primary commentator. The videos would be hosted on our website. And we want you to do, I think it was, let's see, I think it was about 30 casts a week. Yeah, so 30 videos a week. And, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also StarCraft casting. Like you can kind of just bash through a lot of that, and we're going to offer you $800 flat for it, a month.
A week?
A month?
A month?
A month.
What?
Yeah, $800 a month, and I almost took it because right then I just lost my job and I was fucking desperate. Like I really was. I was desperate, and I almost took it. And Husky saved my ass. I was a day from signing that contract because I'm like, I got to do something. I just lost my job. I really need something right now. And I know it's not a very good deal, but think about it. $800 for commentating video games, that sounds amazing. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I'm glad I didn't take that. And yeah, you're right, there are predators around. And I know it sounds like an easy job, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not like the best job that any of us has ever had, because it fucking is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I used to wash dishes in a Mexican restaurant. I used to do security and first aid response at the gymnasium. I once put a guy's hand back on after he degloved his hand while doing dunks in the basketball court. I literally had to put his skin back on him. So
okay, I think you're pretty much beaten us. I was going to say, I've done data entry and worked at retail stores and like done secretary stuff. No, you beat all of us on that one. Holy shit.
What?
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't even understand what happened in that story.
Basically, I worked at the Hyper Building up here at the university. In the time that I was there for the 3 years at Arkansas U of A, one guy was playing frisbee golf in the racquetball court and dove for the frisbee, hit his neck on the side of the wall, snapping his neck instantly, killing him on the spot. Fortunately, I was not the responder for that one, thankfully. The one I was a responder for was I was on the third floor, and the guy's playing basketball. We have a strict no dunking rule. You're not allowed to dunk. And one of the older alumni decided he was going to dunk, and as his hand hit the rim, the skin right there caught, and so he did what we called a degloving.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
Is this something that happens an awful lot?
To the point where you
have
need
to
a
have
term
name
for it?
Yeah.
I guess the skin can just come right off the hand. Yeah.
So these are all like old people though, right?
Well, this guy was older. I think he's in his 50s, late 50s, but I mean, who knows?
Man.
You know. And
What is going on? What was that hoop made out of?
it's just a metal hoop. It's just
Metal.
you're not. It's not meant to do that. You come down
Apparently
at that
not.
angle. You right there. You catch it. Oops! So I'm dunking. Look, I'm awesome. I'm Kobe Bryant. You know. And
Here's the thing. I'd like to see Kobe's hand just come right off.
No, I wouldn't.
All right.
Can we-
All right. Enough.
Uh,
Let's get back to games, shall we? Let's get back to the topic.
Oh,
That is horrifying.
That's a derail and a half that
Look, can I
involves
just say,
ripping people's
no
skin
one
off.
has-
Jeez.
No one has deserved success more than you right now. By all means, continue being wonderful.
so, team, have you played that new degloving simulator? It's
Oh
really-
God! Stop. All right. Anyway, I guess back to the point before we get on to the other news. And
Gary's incident.
yeah, I think the Gary's incident. Yeah, I think people just need to they need to realize, and thankfully a lot of people kind of got over it. When I was reading a lot of the feedback, it's like, yeah, TotalBiscuit's an asshole. I hate him, but he's not wrong on this one. I'm like, well, great. I'm glad you could at least admit that. And then there was some people that are saying, no, I'm really glad it happened to him. It's like, no, if you think even an ounce beyond your petty, your feelings of petty revenge over some guy that had the audacity to make videos on the internet and somehow that offends your fucking existence, if you had any thought behind that, you'd realize just how fucking bad that actually is. You're talking about the notion of censoring criticism, which is used by you. You might not watch my videos, but I bet you watch somebody else's or you read someone else's review. By then, you are talking about censoring that.
Gloving talk, please.
The degloving talk stops.
Yes, I promise.
Thank. Oh, for crying out loud.
Can I just say, I'm honestly right now, I want to go to Karma Loop. Karma Loop, it's an inner city youth website where you can buy clothes, and I want to buy TB.
Get out of my office! Why are you all in here?
TB that like I heart my haters shirt, but it's the diamond. I want to buy that for him. I want TB to wear that when he goes to different conventions. Like,
Oh my
what up,
God,
haters?
what?
I want that.
Yeah. It goes beyond like your individual hatred of a single person. Yeah. Whatever. That doesn't matter. That's unimportant.
We talked about that for just a second, if that's okay. Like, TV, I know some people, you've been edgy. I like the fact, one of the reasons I've been a fan of you is the fact that you've got an edge to you. I've got an edge to you, you know? And
yeah, but there's some stuff that I've said that I just, like, horribly regret. Like, the copy pasta's been going around lately, because, like, oh, TotalBiscuit's in the news again. Let's remind someone of this retarded post that he made 7 years ago on something awful, which was the dumbest shit I've ever said. Let's remind people of, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, when Jen was denied entry to the UK, and I was basically like, oh, my family's falling around, around me. I may never get to see my wife and kid again. And a bunch of guys from 4chan decided that would be a great time to troll me, so I just fucking told them to die of cancer and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I absolutely regret saying all of that. That was a horrible thing to say, but fucking understand that we're human beings and that sometimes we go off the fucking handle. We are not chaperoned.
The difference between you and me and other people is that there's a paper trail of everything you've done in the past 6 years.
Fucking true.
You are in the limelight.
That is true.
We all fuck up. We all do things. I'm angry. I'm one of the angriest people you know. I think I've got you beat when it comes to anger 10 times. You know, and if everything I've ever said, everything I ever did made it to the front of the internet, I would be nobody. They'd be like, wow, that dude is crazy. I want to stay, you know. But like you said, and what's so important about this is even if you are some sanctimonious prick setting on high, judging all people, and you find TotalBiscuit to be found wanting, it's beyond that. This is way more important than that. And
it really is.
Figure that shit out.
And it's something this is happening. All right, this is something that is going to keep happening because we are in this weird, uncertain time where the law's like, so what, showing a video game is what from an IP perspective? Because it's not like showing a movie. It's not the same fucking thing. Even though, under fair use, you're allowed to show parts of movies to critique them. That's a legit thing. That's why Red Letter Media is able to do like a 70-minute review and things like that. You can do that under fair use.
Here's the thing, though. Even some of that is under fire with YouTube as well.
On YouTube, yes. That's why he didn't put it on YouTube, because he couldn't trust YouTube to uphold fair use. Because YouTube's like, we don't care about fair use, basically.
A perfect example is in a recent video, the background music of a scene in a video game was like some indie artist thing, and the company that sold whatever to the game was like, here, we're going to flag your video. The problem is that the song being played was like 3 seconds worth of the song. And I was like,
which is
that
bullshit.
is well within fair use.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah,
and I sent them a message, and literally YouTube was like, sorry, tough shit.
Yeah, you've got to do certain things to really get stuff happening. Like, obviously, like Maker and Polaris came down on YouTube like a ton of bricks on the Monday and got everything sorted out. But the thing is that video games in particular are a very weird place because they're infinitely weirder than, say, using someone else's music in your video, yeah? That's a bit more clear-cut. Playing a game, though, it's like, right, okay, we understand that the developer created the assets, but he didn't necessarily create the gameplay that's going on right now. Yeah, exactly. A movie will play out the same way every time. If I play a 5-minute clip from a movie, that's not on my work. When I'm playing a game, that actually is. I'm the one who is doing that. I'm the one who's manipulating it. And it's strange because it runs the gamut. Like, it runs between, say, Dota, where the entire game basically is created by the 10 people playing. Yeah, and that's like playing chess, right? It's saying the game assets only exist to allow this game to occur. And then you've got stuff like The Last of Us, where there's hours of voice-acted cutscenes and stuff that's basically a movie. And that is really strange, because where does it fall on fair use? And more to the point, how far can this go? Because this is the thing with Let's Plays as well, isn't it? How transformative is your commentary? How much are you allowed to show? Can you monetize? Can you not monetize? And it's so ridiculous that this happened with what is basically a critique, because if this was anywhere else, you would not be even using the term monetize. If I do a review of Gary's incident and I write it, let's say I'm writing for Giant Bomb, You know, that maybe I'm just showing my aspirations at some point because they're amazing. But maybe I'm writing for Giant Bomb and they say, all right, here's the review. The term monetize doesn't even come into it. Of course there's ads on the review. It's a website. Of course it's got ads on it. Look at anywhere else. Of course. What if it's in a magazine and I sell the magazine? Does the guy get to DMCA my magazine because I used screenshots of the game that I reviewed and I sell my magazine? Fuck no. This term only happens on YouTube. It's only there. It's bullshit, and you know it's bullshit. I'm not selling your work. I'm running an ad on something that I did. I'm not even selling it. I'm selling the audience is what's sold. That's how advertising works. That's how ad revenue works.
Exactly.
If I was charging $5 per copy for a video including your game, maybe you'd have a point. Maybe, but no, you don't.
One of the things that frustrated me the most in this claim was that we never fully disclosed monetization options and that why would we talk about that? Why would I be doing this? It's common sense. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. I hired somebody to contact you to get a review code. How do you think they get paid? Is this a charity for your game review? Come on.
Hell no.
Use basic common sense.
Yeah, and that's really all it's required. This is a reason why those fair use laws exist, because the courts also realized it's bullshit to allow companies to pull down critique of their product over ridiculous IP claims. And it would be incredibly abusive. It's horribly anti-consumer if you allow that to happen. And
that's why, for the record, the EFF is so important. This is why the DMCA law needs to be reapproached. It needs to be redefined. We need more precedents set. We need more cases to go to court. And we need more examples like you just set. And that's exactly what we need. And I'm so grateful that, at the end of the day, I know it was a huge pain in your ass. I'm so glad this happened because point made that someone's going to have to think twice before exploiting that situation again, especially when it comes to you.
I mean, all YouTubers should be just acutely aware of how fragile a situation this is, and obviously look into IP law, read up your rights when it comes to fair use, and just be reasonable. This entire thing would never have happened if people were just reasonable. You know how many companies have done this to me? And I've done over 500 WTFS videos alone. You know how many companies have pulled this shit? One. Even Sega didn't pull that. Sega took down something that wasn't like a critique. They took down some old Shining Force video. This is the only company that has pulled this. If EA, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Capcom, Activision, and a million one other companies understand how this works, why the fuck don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God.
I read a quote the other day that said that absence of ignorance is not the biggest enemy. It's feigning of ignorance. And feigning of intelligence. And I think in this particular case, I think that's exactly what he did. I think he didn't like your review very much. And come at me, bro. I'm sort of say some inflammatory shit, but come at me, bro. I think he feigned ignorance. I think he did everything he wanted to do because he did not want to give you the opportunity to critique his game, which, by the way, looks like a steaming pile of shit.
It's terrible.
I've not seen your WTF, but I've seen everybody else's, and because yours was gone at the time that I was most interested in it. And if you make a game like that, consider it a learning experience. Be humble. Understand that, we were putting our shit together. We were figuring our shit out. This is what we put out. It's not that great. It has some redeeming qualities. It's our first game. We're going to move forward from here.
What's wrong is it's not even the first game. Like, they made a game called Dungeon Gate as well, which is just dreadful. And it's like, wow, look at how much you overreached. You clearly do not have the experience to create a first-person survival game. You want to know how many good first-person survival games there are? Exactly.
No.
There just aren't any.
Thank you.
There aren't any. So, if they couldn't nail it, then I'm pretty sure you can't. Just be more reasonable. Be more reasonable.
Can we take a moment here to realize that in the history of damage control, never has it ever succeeded in trying to shut people up to make your situation better.
Never.
In fact, in the history of damage control, if you try to shut someone up, it usually makes it worse.
The Streisand effect is a real thing.
Streisand effect, yep.
It makes no sense that like you figured they would know. Like, just being like, F that guy, screw his review, would be so much better for you than just like, oh, now we're going to target him and then have him turn all of it back on us. That's the dumbest look.
So dumb.
They deserve what's happened to them.
The second that all this started, I was like, did you not know? Did you not realize this would happen? Like
that really got me. I'm just like, guys, I know, and I felt bad afterwards for it, even though I knew it was justified. It's like, basically one idiot CEO just damned his company. Like, there are people, his company's getting called, his website gets taken down. Apparently, his FTP details got shared, and his FTP was full of stuff. And, like, people got emails like, God, I don't want that to happen, but you guys fucked with someone's livelihood. And what did you expect to happen?
That one guy's piss poor decision. Every person that worked on that game is now having to erase it off of their resume. Like, nope, that wasn't me. I was in fucking Zimbabwe while that game was being made.
They'll rename themselves probably down the line.
It blows my mind that they would rather silence dissent than be like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to show that son of a bitch. Let's make our next game, or even a mod for this game, 20 times better. So he has to come kiss our ass next time, and then we'll just revel in our victory. That didn't even cross their damn minds. It's mind-blowing. You're just like dummies. You're all dummies.
Pretty much, yeah. So, I just don't forget about this, guys, because really, it sucks for us to obviously, like, lose our livelihood or whatever because of this kind of thing. That's not the thing you should be most concerned about, even though it might be what we're concerned about. You should be concerned about the idea that a company can actually censor critique and stop you from learning the truth about their product. That is the worst part of all of this, and you should never, ever abide that under any circumstances.
I'll even one-up it, and I will tell you that I genuinely think that next-level content, the kind of content that you and I and everybody else here is producing, the kind of content that the people that are watching right now, I think...
Jesse doesn't count. Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying, I'm thinking it's important that we are content creators and we're able to create in the safety of our own bedrooms, within the confines of our own destiny. I think that's wonderful. And I know I'm using big words here, but it's because it's a big thing.
It's democratized content, isn't it?
And when you have somebody putting their foot down on that, you are changing the future. You are changing the way content is created and provided and distributed. And when one guy screws up like this, it can impact all of time. We are fighting a very good fight here, and a very important fight to unshackle the networks from having their monopoly on entertainment and giving entertainment back to the people to produce and distribute it and create it. And we cannot let somebody tread on that. Not just for our livelihoods, but our kids and our kids' kids and our kids' kids' kids. And I know that's heavy, and I know that's I know how I sound right now, but I mean it. I mean it. This is important.
Yep, it's a brave new world of cat videos, folks. You do not want to see that lost. You do not. So I guess we'll do one more news article, actually, before we go to the break. I want to talk about dark matter. Have you guys heard about that?
No.
No? Nobody heard about it?
Not me.
Oh. All right, so...
Explain.
All right, here we go. So there's a game called Dark Matter that popped up on Steam.
Oh, it's on Steam now?
Yeah, it was on Steam. And it's a 2.5D survival horror kind of ish game. Yeah. So it had a bit of a Metroid feel to it from what I could tell. And this game came out and it was like, okay, cool, game's out, right, fine. A few hours later, people are like, this game just ends. Like, it just stops about 4 hours in with a text screen, and that's it. And that's the end of the game. With no lead up, no context. You basically walk halfway into a room and the game ends right there. And people were pretty pissed about that because they expected more than the 4-hour experience. They certainly didn't expect such an unsatisfying ending. And then the company comes out and says, look, our Kickstarter failed. We didn't have the money to finish this game. So we released it anyway in this state. And everyone went crazy, and rightfully so.
Oh, is that why when I click the link on GOG, it literally is a 404 error page?
Yes. Yeah, GOG actually started offering refunds for that and changed the description of the game, and then eventually just removed it entirely. Because the developers, I think it was maybe the publisher, either published by Iceberg Interactive, who unfortunately don't have the best publishing record, but I mean, they put out some decent games. But there was an argument being made that's like, oh, it's actually episode 1 of the game. It's supposed to be episodic. And then, of course, it came out, no, it was never meant to be episodic. It's just they couldn't finish it. And now it's come out today, based on a source that Gama Sutra's got, that the company barely exists. They fired everyone but 2 managerial staff in July.
Wow.
It's like it's a ghost company.
How does this even happen? This is like out of a storybook. I can't believe this is happening.
I feel like lately there have been so many scenarios in which a company has been disingenuous about what the game is or the state of the game when they put it out, and then everybody gets angry and they're like, "What do you want from us? We did our best, you know." Shut up! Like what?
Is it because it's easier now? I guess relatively easier. Like back in the day, you had to have a publisher to get it out. You had to go through like all that stuff. You had to have it in the box.
Well, funnily enough, this did. Like I want to fire shots at Iceberg. Iceberg Interactive is the publisher. I want to fire shots at them. You are responsible for letting this game get onto Steam because it did not go through Greenlight. Yeah, it went through Iceberg Interactive, who already have a pre-existing deal with Steam. So this is pretty much your fault. The publisher's supposed to stop this shit from happening. They shouldn't be releasing a game that they know isn't done. And yet, that is exactly what they did. I actually believe I have the ending for you here. I can show you the ending right here.
Oh my god, there's a guy. Yeah, I'm watching a video right now.
Yeah.
You're right. It's
Alright.
incredible.
Yep, so you're in a room. Yep, so some kind of platforming going on here. This guy's like deliberately sort of showing you that, look, where I am in the game is kind of the right place. Done. There it is. That's the ending.
The best part is you can see a fraction of a second before that it shows you the text. There's obviously a scene or a load screen or something happening, and it's just like game over.
Yeah.
Is anybody hearkening back to like the ending of Sopranos right now, or is that just me?
Funnily enough, I've never actually watched Sopranos. I need to do that, but
it reminds me of another fantastic game. Back to Revelations 2012. People who played that game. The game, you get to the third boss, and after you beat the third boss, who is not even like it's just like this chick who hangs you. After you beat her, you get a cutscene where this guy appears out of a mountain. He's like, "I will just defeat you. See you in the sequel." It's like, wait, I just spent money on something that like you didn't even complete the game.
They couldn't even be bothered to finish the boss fight, so they just like that actually reminds me of the end of the Mortal Kombat movie that was super disappointing, where they all kind of pose and then it's credits like, no, fight this guy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's why I mean. If I wasn't such an like a hipster David Cage fan, I could totally understand people flipping out about the end of Beyond, because it's the exact same like, see you in the sequel, but there won't be one, bitches.
Because
like,
I'm David Cage.
It's like I don't understand. It feels exact same, except this is more insulting because this is just like some things happen to you and then you die at the end.
Well, what annoyed me is the fact that when they were trying to do damage control, again, they basically just kind of lied about it originally and said, yeah, it was supposed to be an episodic game. And then eventually it came out, it's like, no, we just didn't have the money for it, and we released it as it was. And what really annoyed me about it is that Steam already has a system where you can do this. It's called Early Access, and they could have put it on Early Access. Why the fuck didn't they? Because then, okay, fine, you can make some money, and you can just say, look, it's not done yet. The money we make from this is going to help us finish the game. And everyone would be okay with that, mostly, I think.
That's what they say. They literally say the second part of this game was contingent upon the first part selling enough that we could continue making it.
Well, it ain't going to fucking happen now, considering what you just did. You know, you just buried yourself.
Especially with them, I mean, there's so many things. Like,
what is it with stupid indies this week? You want to explain what the hell happened? Did something get in the water?
No, I'm telling. It has. I think we're at like this perfect storm of Kickstarter and Steam and all this shit where people are just like, I have an idea for a great game. I can do this, and they're just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like people have a lot of ideas and not a lot of talent or time or ability, and it's right. I'm telling you, watch out. Watch out. It's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. apps.
Well, that's the beauty of this model, and I mean, again, not to take control here, but the beauty of the distribution model right now with YouTube, we are able to distribute whatever content we want, but a lot of what's uploaded to YouTube is not great. And with Greenlight and independent distribution streams and small independent studios, we have had some amazing games, some of which you've turned me on to, TP. But the reality of it is, we have to pay the price, and the price is this. But even knowing that, it's shocking to me, because what shipping that game and saying it's supposed to be episodic is contemptuous.
It really is. It's like, how dumb do you think we are, exactly?
Like, it's crapping on a silver platter and saying dinner is served.
Yeah, pretty much. I've got to ask all of you, how responsible do you think Steam is for kind of clamping down on this kind of stuff, if at all? Starting with you, Brooke. Not you, Jesse. We don't like you.
You mean like how responsible should they be in terms of like taking it down and dealing with it, or
basically,
in terms of just never letting it show up in the first place?
Well, yeah, both. I mean, do you think they should be responsible for never letting it show up in the first place, or?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear at this point that their screening process is not great.
No.
Like I think that needs to be addressed first and foremost, for sure. The number of things that wind up on Steam where everybody's like, what is this shit? And they're like, oh, it's just, hold on, just kidding. It's silly, really, considering how big they are. They should be better about that.
I mean, it's not like billions of games are released on a daily basis. Although, pet peeve, stop putting old games on Steam. I can't find anything. And you're burying other titles. Like, on Monday, let's see, there were 7 games put out, and none of them are new. They're all
7
like
guests, 11, like stuff like that.
It's like 7 guests, 11 now. It's like, oh yeah, GOG's got this part of the market down,
like
so we're going to do
years.
it but worse and drown you in it. It's been terrible. For like the Stanley Parable is already on page 3. And that only came out a couple of days ago. Magic and Wizard was like on page 5. Talisman didn't even get a look in because it came out on the same day as a bunch of old games. It's like, what are you doing, guys?
In chat, like people are bringing up the question, like, how do you though check every game that comes through Steam? Here's my response. It's their damn job. That's what they should be doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right.
They're not a
like
game store that's stocking hundreds of games on a daily basis. Yeah, because they're only playing for one format. There's not that many games that come on Steam on a daily basis. You can check to some degree, at least.
And that's I think there's a string of laziness happening with a lot of like just on the internet in general when it comes to reviewing things. That's why I like when TB actually like shows you he's playing a game, because there's a lot of people who sit there and like, I'm playing 20 minutes of this game and I'm gonna write a 4-page review on it. It's like, that's the laziest shit. Like, it infuriates me. Or this past week, I was pissed off on Twitter because I was like this code this guy gave out for his game to people who backed him on Kickstarter. Like, someone released that on the internet, and every website picked it up as part of their, like, feed of information. It was like, no one does any actual, like, news reporting. They just get aggregate feeds of information and post it as their own.
Gaming is really bad in that respect.
It's so lazy.
And some of them don't even bother to credit it. You know, I'll give credit to, like, someone like VG247 that they take a lot of their news from other people, but they properly accredit it. And there's a bunch of sites that just don't. Blog spam is the term for it. They'll just take someone else's fucking work, put it up there, and then they run ads on it, which is interesting considering what we've just been discussing. But they don't add anything of their own to it whatsoever.
Right. And it's also, you know, gaming companies do this as well. And I'm sure you guys get messages all the time. They're like, hey, your readers might be interested in this. And it's like a paragraph. And then when you go to websites, you see the exact same paragraph.
Yeah, they just copy and pasted the press release. That's all they did.
Laziest shit. And I feel like Steam is doing the exact, like, it's just
They're doing the store equivalent of that.
Yeah, it's just...
And honestly, like, I mean, we were just talking about how, look, this is the best job we've ever had. It's great. We're paid to sit around and play video games and talk about them and share our thoughts and our feelings. Mm-hmm. How hard would it be, Steam, how hard would it be to be like, look, we need your game this amount of time before it's supposed to be coming out, and we're going to hire somebody to sit and play your game? Like, as if no one would want that job.
Game testers barely get paid anything, and they would have a far worse job than that. You know, a game tester has to play the same bit of the game like 50 fucking times
over and over
to shake it down for bugs.
All you're doing is hiring somebody to just play the game. just sit there and play it. Like,
Yeah, if you'd had one guy do that before release for Dark Matter, we would have known about this before it went on sale and before a bunch of people got fucking duped.
Yep.
We can't rely on companies to give out review codes of games, especially if they know it's bad. Especially if they know it's bad.
And,
Yeah.
and that's the best case scenario that they just didn't know. Worst case is that someone did fucking play the game and was like, no, it's good. In which case, what? Like, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you for a fact nobody did that. You know, I think the problem really comes in from the fact that Steam is treated as a retailer, which they are. They're also a developer, which is a little strange, obviously Valve. And then you look at, what's the responsibility of a regular store to... The responsibility of a regular store, especially, as I worked in game, of course, we had bad games on the shelves all the time. We did. And was it our responsibility to
but no one ever
not...
blamed your store.
No. We give them a refund if they came back because that's the way UK law worked. If the product wasn't fit for purpose under the Sale of Goods Act 1979, if I recall correctly, then you were able to return it to the retailer because that was basically the first part of the chain. Then the retailer sends it back to the distributor. The distributor sends it back to the manufacturer. And that's how it goes up the chain. That's how it works. But with Steam, you can't return things to the retailer. And as a result of that, I think that Steam has got to do more due diligence. You want to have a policy where refunds are very hard to get? Okay, fine. But you've got to be more trustworthy. You've got to do more due diligence.
Reason for, yeah.
Yeah, do fucking due diligence. Even Origin has you beat on this. What the hell is wrong with you? Origin doesn't even work half the time.
I know, I was just going to say.
And even they've got a better refund policy than you do. What are you doing?
And it blows my mind that the defense is constantly, they can't be expected to do everything.
Why not? They have infinite money.
You are expected to do that.
Yep.
Exactly, like they don't have the money to pay like a couple of people to play games for them.
And who wouldn't do that job? Like, who wouldn't come in and take minimum wage plus benefits to play video games 40 hours a week? I could name 30 people who would relocate to Valve right now for that.
To have that job.
Like, 60% of the games you're releasing lately are old games that we already know are good anyway. You don't even have to check them.
Yeah.
It's not even like... the unboxing day was the worst every time when I was working at game because we'd get several boxes of games for all different platforms, yeah? So we'd maybe be stocking like 50 to sometimes 100 new games a week if it was a really busy week. Steam does not release that many. Do not even pretend. You maybe see 20 games in a week. It's been ridiculous lately because 60% of the titles have been old stuff. But on a regular week, you get nowhere even close to that. You are PC gaming only. Do not tell me that's impossible.
Yeah.
Can we talk a minute about the fact that that's the way it is? Is it because big companies now are not releasing onto like for example, Assassin's Creed 4 comes out like 20 days after the console release, something crazy like that?
I think that's now been changed. I got a press release, I think, last week or the week before saying it was going to be earlier. I need to double check that this is actually correct.
Hold on, I just passed it. It comes out on Steam November 19th. And when does it come out?
It's still delayed, is it?
Yeah. So could that be part of the reason that like most companies are trying to just be like, no, we're not playing your game anymore. And so you have to go through Origin, which sucks, by the way. Or you have to, or it's console-based, and we're not going to release it.
I mean, a lot of those bigger companies want to take the power away from Steam, obviously, because Valve is also a developer that they're competing with, and there being a monopoly on that would be bad. So, I mean, it's not like you can't get Assassin's Creed 4 on Steam, but you have to run it through Uplay as well.
Right.
Unfortunately, they do seem to be... They put that, like, several weeks delay on it, and, like, it's... From what I've heard from within the industry, it's almost always it's a piracy issue for the most part, because, they want to try and reduce piracy by releasing it a little bit later, and secondly, it also comes down to the idea that there are people who will buy it on multiple platforms because they can't wait. So they will buy 2 copies. So,
and I'm that guy, for the record.
Yeah,
I loved Grand Theft Auto 5. It's
person.
Phenomenal. I played it to death on my PlayStation. I'm at the end of the storyline. I played some online, and when it finally comes out on PC, yes, I'll buy it again. But I would have much rather, even if I had to pay more for the PC. But I know piracy is a thing. I know many people downloaded. I read an article yesterday saying that there was a fake pirated
GTA 5.
Yeah, and people downloaded it, thousands and thousands.
Enjoy your Trojans, fuckers.
I know those people exist, but at the end of the day, I've never seen the sales data. Maybe you have, but the reality of it is I can't believe that this is better. I can't believe that it's better. And it's infuriating to me, the ire that it creates in me every time they delay a PC build when I know that they built it on PC and then ported it to the consoles to begin with.
Yeah.
It infuriates me. I'm not a stupid person, and when you treat me stupid, it upsets me. Come out and say, we are not releasing this game. We're Rockstar, and we're not releasing the PC build because we're afraid of piracy.
By the way, I was right.
Wikipedia
is actually out of date. I received this press release about a week ago. I guess no one bothered to publicize it. According to Uplay, AC4 is a 29th of October release.
October, yeah.
So it is coming around at the same time, but it wasn't earlier. Okay. And no one's talking about that. Yeah, so there you go. So on PC this time around, but every other Assassin's Creed game has been late. Assassin's Creed 1 was the worst because it was like 6 months later at least. And then Assassin's Creed 2 was late, Brotherhood, Revelations 3, all late. It became a running joke within the industry. Whenever anyone went to interview Ubisoft about it, they'd say, so when's the PC release coming out? And Ubisoft would always respond, the same time as everything else. But when's it really coming out? You know? And it was a stupid situation, but... yeah, all right. Well, I guess that's that topic. We're definitely overrunning now. So I think we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at the releases. Don't worry, we'll look at ones that aren't 20 years old, and then we can round off the show. You're currently watching the Co-optional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. The final hour begins. It does indeed.
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 For real.
There was one more news article that, I mean, we could have a look at, but I think we'll see what kind of time we got at the end of the show, because it's Beyond Two Souls related. I think perhaps Jesse knows what it is, but we'll see. We'll see if we have time towards the end of the show.
I know what this one is, I think.
You know what that is, yes, indeed. All right, let's talk about releases, shall we? This is your section, Dodger. I've handed it over to you. You can...
oh, it's mine now?
Yep, it's yours. Legit? It's all yours. Yep.
Okay. Today, in the United States, we have LEGO Marvel Superheroes for Wii U, PS3, Xbox 360, PC, 3DS, DS, Vita, and PlayStation Network Vita.
It's also coming out for Sega Mega Drive, so I'm told. So, it's coming out for fucking everything, isn't it? That's
fairly... everything. I think
that's pretty common for LEGO games, though. Yeah.
So far.
Reviews on this are so far fairly mixed, from what I've seen.
Really? LEGO games normally have pretty good reviews.
For the most part, yeah. But let's be honest, they also have done the same fucking thing for the past 10 games.
True.
Yeah.
Another game coming out today is TMNT for Wii, Xbox 360, and 3DS, which I have heard is a terrible game.
You would be correct. Myself and Jesse have played that.
It's a terrible game.
It is just awful.
Which is a real shame, because my wife is a huge Turtles fan.
Aw.
Yeah.
Next up is
you won't be after playing that game, I'll tell you that for a fact.
Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst for PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yes, which is it's a fighting game, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'll Google it, but it would take me all day to type.
It's true. Also, just a heads up for anybody who is like, well, I'm not really into Naruto, but maybe I'll try one of these games. They don't give you anything. Build up. Like, you go in so blind. I watched one of my friends that has never read Naruto, watched Naruto, played another Naruto game, try to play the last Naruto Shippuden game, and he was confused out of his mind. He was just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who anybody is. I don't know what's happening.
I like the art style. It's very Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And the fights are really fun, but it can be confusing story-wise.
Okay.
Next up, we have Rocksmith 2014 for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.
Now, that's a game that's currently getting very good reviews. I believe.
Really?
Yeah, IGN apparently said this is fucking great. Like they were
really glad to hear
happy
that,
with it.
because I know a lot of people who are very eager to play that game, and I've thought that might be the time to finally pick up a guitar and try to learn. So.
Yeah, there's some really cool learning in it. Apparently, I'm just looking at, there's something called the Guitarcade in this, which has a bunch of guitar-based minigames, one of which is you're learning pentatonic minor chords by doing a street brawler. And there's another one which is a racing game and stuff like that. That is a really cool way to do things. There's also a session mode, and that's man, you know, I've always wanted to learn guitar. I probably would never be able to pull it off, but I would love to try Rocksmith 2014. That seems really, really interesting. And bear in mind, it's a real guitar you have to use. So, yeah.
Say your mama's Guitar Hero, son.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the Rock Band era. And I was a drummer growing up. I had played the drums in high school and a little bit as a young adult. But I learned nothing from playing Rock Band other than the words to some songs I wish I'd never heard. So actually being able to walk away with the ability to play guitar, it sounds phenomenal. And I'm so glad that it's not just that promise. If they can actually deliver, then it sounds like, based on the reviews they have, that's awesome.
Yeah. Rocksmith, even the original Rocksmith was pretty damn good. And this is apparently just really good at what it does. And yeah, it's only had kind of one mixed review, and that was like a 70 from 7 out of 10 from Game Reactor Denmark. Everyone else is basically saying this is really good at what it does. Obviously, it's a bit of a niche product because you need a fucking guitar. You know, you need an electric guitar or a bass. You plug it into the system with a special cable, so it's ultimately a fairly expensive thing, but I love the notion of using games to teach you real skills in a way that's fun. And most games don't do that very well. Edutainment has always kind of sucked, but at this point, that looks like a lot of fun.
It's all been downhill since Math Blasters, guys.
Where
still use
the
it.
world is in San Diego.
Oh, true.
My kid still plays Math Blaster, like the latest Math Blaster. It's good at what it does. I'll give it credit.
Wait, there are new Math Blasters?
Oh yeah,
games?
math. There's like an MMO of it now. It's like an online service. It's insane.
Did you guys have the Mario Learn to Type game?
Oh, that was awful.
The best.
That was terrible.
I had Mavis Beacon.
Oh, Mavis. I remember her.
They made us use it in my class, and it was awful. I hated it.
We played Granny's Garden. That was a thing. That was kind of an
Granny's Garden.
Yeah, it was an entertainment game, but it was terrifying. It was terrifying. Let me see if I can find you footage of it, because there's a reason why this thing is terrifying. It is messed up. Like, there was this terrifying witch that made these horrible noises. No, oh god, yeah, I remember this. I'm skipping through this kind of let's play of the game to see if the witch is there. Oh, did they know? Oh, this is a different version of the witch. That's no good. Yeah, there was a version on BBC Micro, which was the original Granny's Garden, and it had this terrifying, terrifying witch. And I'm doing my best to find it for you. It scared the shit out of me, and it made you learn. Because, like, you didn't do your maths problems, that fucking witch is gonna get you. She's gonna fucking get you. Oh, this is the best. Right, watch this bit. No, but this bit is hilarious, and I think that this will be very much appreciated by Jesse here. So this is a piece of footage from Granny's Garden here. Welcome to the Kingdom of the Mountains. What is your password? You have found the following children. You had to rescue children, basically, from the witch. And there's this bird. Here comes the bird coming at you. This was the quality of animation. I think the animation was a little better than this, honestly, because I think whoever recorded this didn't do it well. And the bird is like, come with me to the land of mystery.
This is fantastic.
It was basic, but, you know, this is how a lot of us, like, learned basic mathematics, this thing. And I'm trying to find the witch. I'm gonna, like, kind of skip through this. And he may not lose. Like, if he doesn't lose, he probably won't see the witch. But, oh, God, this was how basic stuff was. You know, in the Castle of Dreams.
It never matches your memory, does it? It's always so bizarre. I looked back at the original Kingdom Hearts the other day before the HD remake, and it's amazing how bad it looks compared to the way it looks in my memory, you know?
Yeah.
I don't believe he didn't lose. That's really... Oh, someone actually... What the... Alright, okay, someone did a camcorder LP of Granny's Garden.
What?
But it does show the witch. So...
Oh, well, shit. Alright, we're in now.
Oh, yeah.
This is the worst. Alright. There we go. Okay. There it is.
I've never been more excited to see a stream catch up in my entire life.
I know, me too.
Here's the witch. The fucking...
Mom?
I was like 3 when I played this, and this was the most terrifying thing.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, it's really horrifying, because you got this... Oh, it was ridiculous. You had these really dissonant sounds on the, like, internal sound processor, where it just, like, screeched at you, like, God damn it, I will never fail basic multiplication again.
Although, with that said, she's very nice for a witch. She's just gonna walk you home, She's just gonna hold your hand and take you home and make you start over. She could have eaten you.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I don't believe someone camcorder LP'd a Granny's Garden. I don't even know, what's the screen in? It looks like the screen's embedded in a stone tablet.
I was gonna say cardboard, like
cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been. It's like, wow, someone did that. All credit to them.
That's what it was like back in the day, kids.
They have a good camera.
They had cardboard computers.
They have a good camera. They put it on a stand. It's only slightly off angle. It's like...
It's good.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all good, man.
To be fair, capturing a BBC Micro is pretty fucking difficult. So, I give you all credit for that. Anyway, I don't really sure how we got here. So,
Shall we move on? We were talking about educational games.
yes, let's carry on with the release list, shall we?
Let's move on to things that are less educational. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut
Yeah.
for Wii U and PC
Yep.
comes out today. Mag Runner Dark Pulse for PlayStation 3 Network.
That's I can tell you about Mag Runner Dark Pulse. It's kind of Portal-esque. It's a first-person puzzle platformer kind of thing, and it's mostly about manipulating magnetism with this device on your hand, so making things stick to other things while riding them over all over the place. It's not bad. It's got a decent sense of humor to it as well. It's pretty good for what it is, if you like that kind of game. I personally can't stand that kind of game, but I know that a lot of people do.
Well, there you go. Alien Rage for PlayStation 3 Network.
Alien Rage.
Alien Rage!
They are the maddest possible aliens.
They are very angry about the
So
mining
angry.
situation. Yeah, that's a City interactive game. It's a very run-of-the-mill kind of sci-fi shooter, but it's okay at what it does, and it's cheap.
Rage.
But it's very angry about everything.
So mad.
I can't believe how hard it is to be an alien!
Oh, being an alien in modern society is so oppressive.
Next
Alien
up,
Rage.
we have Ruse for PlayStation 3 Network.
What? Oh, wow, they must be just putting that on PlayStation 3 Network. That game's several years old now.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
2008, 2009?
Yeah, Ruse is so fucking good. Can I just get that out there? Like, if you get a chance to pick up Ruse on Steam, especially with the DLC, pick up Ruse. It's such a good war game. It is so very cool. And the guys behind that eventually made Wargame, European Escalation, and Air Land Battle. So, but Ruse, I think, is better than those games. So, fucking Ruse. My first ever WTF was of Ruse. Did you know that? It
Did
was.
not know that.
Yeah, you do.
Just found that out. Just found that out just now.
Ruse is great.
That means that game did come out a long time ago.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay, so last up today in the U.S. is SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton's Robotic Revenge.
Thank
PlayStation
God.
Good.
and
Hang on.
PlayStation.
Good.
Is that... I have a feeling. Is that by... I really think it is. I think this is by Behavior, the guys who are making the 40k MMO. What's it called? Plankton's Robotic Revenge? Robot
Yes.
Revenge? I'm pretty sure this is by Behavior, because I'm pretty sure I gave... the DM for our Dark Heresy campaign is the lead designer on the 40k MMO. Yeah, it is developed by Behavior Interactive. I gave him shit about this on Saturday. I'm like, so, with an exceptional reputation of games like SpongeBob SquarePants, Plankton's Robotic Revenge, we can expect a great
Yes.
MMO from you, right? And I feel bad about that. Apparently, Behavior is like this big company, and they've got all these kind of different divisions, and like there's divisions that are solely for making licensed tat, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
But honestly, like a lot of their licensed tat wasn't actually that bad.
I was
So-
going to say, as long as they do it well.
Yeah. They're
cares?
not that terrible. So there you go.
According to this list, nothing is coming out in the EU today.
Not a damn
But-
thing. All right.
Tomorrow in the US, we have Forced for PC.
Yes. Yeah. The strange thing about that is I think that's the boxed release because I'm pretty sure that game's been released twice already. And it's a little bit strange. So I got code for it twice. I know that. I think maybe it was on early access for a while. We should play that. This might be a co-optional thing. Yeah, it's early
What is
access.
it?
It's a 4-player co-op RPG. And you all play like 4 different characters and you have to get past
right.
stuff.
That's
we should do
awesome,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we
That'd
should
be
do
fun.
that. Okay, there we go. There's our first co-optional
Cool.
episode. We're actually
Forced.
going to do it. We're going to do Forced. There we go.
Here's that now.
Happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up is Path of Exile for PC.
Yeah, that's a fucking game. That is a great
I can't believe
game.
that's finally out of beta, ready to go.
Right?
Loved the beta, played the hell out of it.
So fucking good.
So good. It's everything I wanted Diablo 3 to be and just failed to be.
That was the single creepiest. It's so fucking good.
It is so.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I like those guys because they gave me a bunch of exclusives. Like, I got the exclusive on the Shadow class, and I got the exclusive on Endgame Dungeons, and I made a shit ton of money off them. So buy their game, folks. They're great. It's actually free to play. You don't even have to worry about buying it. But
That's funny. You are the guy who turned me onto it. I just now realized that you are. I was like, what
all
the hell
comes
is
around
this
full
game?
circle. That is the real spiritual successor to Diablo 2. Don't get me wrong, I like Torchlight, but aesthetically, this game is what what Diablo 2 would be right now if it were made with modern technology. And the business model of these guys are amazing. It's so
And the thing that really got me going about it is that Final Fantasy VII, I know, is very, very overhyped, but it was a very ingenious game at the time. I played it when it was new. I went in and bought my PlayStation and that the day it came out and played it for the first time. And the materia system, the gem leveling system, is so fun. No one's ever done that since then. I like leveling gems. That makes me happy. Am I wrong in this?
No, I
know,
agree.
no, Final
Gems
Fantasy
are truly
VII is-
outrageous. Truly outrageous.
I know Final Fantasy VII, blah, 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 hipster. I know, I get it, but still, damn it.
Oh no! You're part of the mainstream. I'm a Final Fantasy VI hipster. So
Ah.
6 was good. I actually,
better is the word you would be using. You should be using.
believe it or not, my favorite of that PlayStation
Don't
era
say 10 or I will fight you in the street.
is 8. And no one I know liked 8. But
It's
I
the love
love
didn't
story.
like
I'm
8.
not gonna hate.
the reason I
gonna
liked
hate
8, the love story is good, the plot's good, the hyper moves, you know, the whatever they're called. But the card game in that game was phenomenal. I had so much
triple
fun.
triad or whatever it is.
It was so fun. Oh my god, I just played so much of that. It was my favorite. Maybe in the entire series, except the first one. It was probably my favorite.
Final Fantasy 1?
Final Fantasy 1. Oh my god. Oh my god, you have no clue. Like that game, boom! When I dropped on the NES, I mean, I'm brand new. I'm 39 years old. I saw that game for the first time. I rented it from the local game store, stole it from, ended up just not returning it. Said I lost it. So
Go on.
I was a
What
bad
are your
person.
crimes, Boogie?
We still had to pay for it, but I played that game so much. I went through with a balanced party, then tried to do it with all red mages, and it changed my world. Like, I played Adventure on the 2600. You know, that was what my first role-playing game was. And so when Final Fantasy dropped, it just blew the world open for me. I was like, this is what I want to do forever. I want to play games like this and tell stories like this and love it until I die, and I ain't dead yet.
Yay!
Yeah, huge
Indeed.
game. Sorry about that. Oh my god! But do you not like the first one, Jesse?
No, it's fine. I just it's definitely
I don't think it
dated
stands
compared
up,
to the
yeah.
rest of them.
I don't think it
Oh, that's
stands
why I
up.
have-
It's very dated.
I replayed it about 10 years ago, and it felt dated then, and I constantly want there. I want to go back and capture that feel, and you never will. That's the worst part about it. You're chasing the dragon forever, but oh god, it was so good at the time.
What's weird is when you play older games like that, there's specific, because I guess the Final Fantasy series has stretched on so long, there's specific times where games feel more dated. Like, for example, old school Nintendo games, NES games, feel dated. Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 games feel dated. But Super Nintendo games, you can still play those damn things, and you're just like, yeah, this is great. And you don't feel that sense of, like, dated gameplay with those for some reason. It's like that weird transition. Every time there's a major transition to something new, those, like, Final Fantasy VII, the models of that game look dated as shit. Like,
They're all absolutely.
yeah.
I think the other night I was watching Gerard play, oh my god, what Zelda game was it? And one of the old school Zelda games, and everything's like pixelated and it looks dated, and you're just like, it's a weird thing. But then there's a time when it's like, okay, now everything's good again, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna jump up another level of technology, and then things look dated again. And it's interesting how that works. I never really thought about it till right now.
Well,
And I worry
Just
about
like operating systems.
yeah.
I worry about my Steam library, for the record, because I have all these games that I've bought that I obviously don't have enough time to play, and I want to get through them all. I want to beat many of them, but we're about to hit the next generation of consoles, and that means unfortunately, the bottleneck is always how good the consoles are. That determines how good the graphics are for my PC games, because they're going to develop for the consoles and then port it to the PC. So now we're entering a new generation where my PC graphics are finally going to be everything I'm waiting for, and I'm so excited to get there. And Battlefield 4 looks good, and I know that's just the first entry. Watch Dogs looks good, and I know it's just the first entry. And 2 years from now, every game I own like right now is going to look like crap on a canvas. It's just, and I'm not going to be able to enjoy it as much. I'm not going to be able to play it. So if I don't play it now, right now, like today, I'm never going to be able to enjoy it the way that I could today, you know? I hate that. But I love it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I can definitely understand how that works. But it's weird when it comes to graphics dating, because I feel like 8-bit graphics are really dated now. 16-bit graphics aren't, and you can kind of get away with it. But then you've got your PS1 era basic polygons that are now very dated, and like your 32X and Mega CD stuff. And then your PlayStation 2 polygons are kind of getting okay. And I wonder if we will ever actually hit that point again. But there's a lot of the early 3D stuff does look really bad now as a result.
Right? Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on the list?
Yes.
Sure. In the EU tomorrow, we'll be getting Valhalla Knights 3 for PlayStation Network.
Oh god,
Vita.
it's that thing. Yeah, we had a look at the trailer of that last week. It mostly
That
seems
thing.
to be about boobs. I'm not really sure why.
And also
Later.
Alien Rage for PlayStation 3 Network.
Oh, great, they get that too. Awesome.
So there's that. The 24th, in the US, we get Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies.
Yeah.
So excited. In
Yes,
EU,
yes.
you also get Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. And Mighty Switch Force 2 for Wii U. On the 25th, we get Batman Arkham Origins for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.
It begins. There are a lot of releases coming our way.
It begins. I know that, like, lots of things where we don't need to tell you what the game is. You know. Also, Batman AO Blackgate for Vita, 3DS, and PlayStation.
Did you
Network
say
Vita.
that was Origins in the EU?
In the US on the 25th.
We get on a Friday? That's really unusual.
Yep.
Apparently.
Huh.
And I'm hating this. I am hating this Friday release schedule now. I'm hating
Oh, well,
and hating.
that's what the UK's been dealing with for years. Like they
It's
always all of the games come out on Fridays.
Our local GameStop is, I like the guys there, but they won't keep the doors open. So you have to try to go to Walmart, but the vendors don't get it there in time. And I'm the guy who wants it at midnight because I'm up for the next 6 to 8 hours. I have to play it now. I have to play it now. So I end up chasing all over town trying to get a copy. And it's just so ludicrous. And it
I love
almost,
Steam.
yeah, exactly. If I can get it on Steam, I'm clearly going to.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, I wanted Pokemon at midnight. So I want to get it from the e-store.
Yep.
And you could not. For $1 million, you could not. It took 8 hours for most of my friends to download it. I had the
It took
game
me
in
a
my
while.
hand.
Yeah.
So it's so frustrating. I love the distribution system. I love being able to get it sent right to my device. But until they finally iron it out, man, it's so frustrating.
It's a fair point. What else is coming, Dodger?
Well, the EU gets those 2 Batman games same day.
Oh,
as
there you go.
us.
All right, cool.
They also get DX:HR Director's Cut.
Yes. In other words, Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. You can get that upgrade, by the way. You can get the Director's Cut upgrade for next to nothing on Steam if you already own the game, so...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, there you go.
Or you can just buy the entire game for a silly price. I think it's like $5, if that. It's... yeah.
Money well spent.
But it fucking well is. It's a great game.
We skip a few days, and on October 28th in the US, we get Blood of the Werewolf for PC. On the 29th, you get Assassin's Creed Black Flag, PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii U.
Yep.
Also, Battlefield 4 for
Oh,
PC,
God.
Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3.
Oh,
Also, Sonic Lost World for 3DS and 3DS.
November is coming. It's the hell month. Ugh.
It's all
It really
just
is the hell month.
so
It's a
good.
great day. It's a great month for making money from video games, but it is a fucking hell month for coverage. It's really bad. It's like, how can I possibly cover all of these?
Nope.
Yeah. Also, just to finish off this list for the rest of this week, Angry Birds Star Wars, Xbox 360, PS3, Vita, Wii
Oh,
U,
thank God, finally.
Yes.
Finally.
I know. WWE 2014 for PS3 and Xbox 360. Crazy Market for PlayStation Network Vita.
There it is. There's the killer app right there.
HD Zombies for PlayStation Network Vita.
Yay.
And that rounds us off. That's it. Releases until next Wednesday.
Great. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm very scared. There's one we did miss, by the way, because it wasn't on any of my release lists, and it's just popped up. Recoil came out today on Steam.
Came out today?
Actually, never mind. No, it didn't.
Okay, then. All right.
All right. Okay, let me tell you how dumb Steam is. Let me explain how dumb Steam is. Here's how dumb Steam is, right? So Recoil, new releases. Click on it. Pre-purchase, December the 13th. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
All the time.
Don't do that. That doesn't mean the game is out. That's bullshit. Stop. Like, really, just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
I hate them when they do that. Stop that. It's not even like pre-purchase and get into the beta, from what I can tell. Nope.
No,
it's just there.
Purchasing. Yeah.
No, that's not okay, Valve. That's not a new release. It's not out for 3 fucking months. No.
I remember a time where pre-ordering at Steam was not a thing, and I missed those days to an extent. Like, I've never been one to pre-order, and I often dissuade people to pre-order only the games that you are guaranteed are going to be worth having. And so it's very frustrating when Steam started shoving that down my throat, because I've had a moral stance against it for a long time. And I believe in supporting the developer. I believe in supporting a company that you believe in. I get that, and I will pre-order if I know it's going to be good, or I just believe in what they're trying to accomplish. But that said, I just wish I didn't have to. Steam became GameStop to me, and that's why I stopped going to GameStop as often, because I don't want to pre-order. I want to buy the game that's in my hand, dude. You know, just let me go.
You want to know what's bullshit, by the way? I mean, we were talking about pre-ordering, but also like the notion of the season pass kind of being a pre-order for stuff. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. Gearbox releases the Game of the Year edition for Borderlands 2, right? They released the Game of the Year edition for Borderlands 2, and I believe they did that, let's see, when was that? October the 8th, so a couple of weeks ago. You know what they just released? More DLC, which is not in the Game of the Year edition. 2 weeks after putting out the Game of the Year edition, they release more fucking DLC that is not part of that pack. What the Ugh! I hate them so much.
Borderlands 2, absolutely, just so you know, is one of my favorite games I've ever played.
It's a great game, don't get me wrong. It's the same as the first one, but, you know, it's a great game.
Their policies, man. Oh. And I'm glad there's more. I want to play more, and I'm going to. But it's really frustrating the way they've done it. And season passes, by the way, I get suckered into season passes every time. I have bought the season pass for, was it The Last of Us? And I still haven't touched it. I don't even know what it is.
Isn't there like no content for that at all? Anyone who bought the season pass for Bioshock is feeling a bit silly as well, because there's still nothing for it.
Yeah. Like, what season are you talking about? Some, like, late quarter 2015? Come on.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking season, isn't it? When did Bioshock come out? That came out on the March the 25th, and Burial at Sea still isn't out. Like, Clash in the Clouds, which is basically a stupid arena thing, is the only thing they've released for that game so far. Yep. Oh, stop buying season passes, guys. Really, you're enabling terrible behavior from devs. Stop. Just stop. Stop.
Yep.
Stop it.
Quit it.
Stop it.
Just stop. Stop buying stuff before it's out. It's dumb.
Like, seriously, I've never really fully understood the concept of spending money you have now to get something you might get in the future. You cannot possibly predict the future. We are meat bags. We're walking, talking meat bags. There's always the chance that we are going to get hit by a car. Keep your money.
So do not get season passes, because you may die. Yes, it's vitally important that you realize this.
Here's the thing, guys. You will die. You will die, so don't get season passes.
Yes,
well, I'm just saying, you're probably going to die before the Bioshock season pass pays off. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think so. Oh god, it's especially stupid when it comes to DLC, because most DLC is bad. I can at least understand pre-ordering a game. Right now, second top seller on Steam, because Stanley Parable just kicked its ass again, by the way. So woo, Stanley Parable. Batman Arkham Origins pops up. It's out in 2 days, 20 hours. Pre-purchase now and play as Deathstroke. So it's basically 2 challenge maps and 2 skins. So, like, buy this game that you have no idea about. There are no reviews out for this game yet. Buy it. And at least I can understand that. DLC, most DLC sucks. Right? Why would you pre-purchase it? Oh, but I'll save some money. But most of it probably isn't worth having. Wait for the DLC to come out and then buy the stuff that's good. It's especially true with Borderlands. Borderlands 1 had, 4 DLC packs? 2 of them were good. And 2 of them sucked ass. So, in fact, honestly, I'd say 1 of them was good, 1 was alright, and 2 of them sucked ass. So why would you, if you bought a season pass for that, you just got ripped the hell off.
Yep.
So don't do it.
Yeah. It's true.
Don't do it.
And then occasionally Tiny Tina's Adventure comes out. You know, just the DLC that remakes the game and makes it that ever was. And then I feel really bad. But at the same time, keep your money.
Buy it separately then. If it's good and someone else has said to you, yeah, this is good now, then buy it. Oh, great. You saved $10 total on the course of buying DLC over the course of a year. And this mattered to you. Why?
Right.
You are not a smart purchaser for doing that, because at least one of those DLC packs was probably garbage, and as a result, you wouldn't have bought it anyway. Don't. Just stop it. Stop it.
And something else, by the way, developers and game companies, Sony, I'm talking to you. I get it. You like to give away video games now. I know. The game that was $20 yesterday is free today, and I like that. But don't think this is goodwill. We're not stupid. We know that you've got $200 worth of DLC waiting right there in the store.
Oh,
yes. You click the button on, okay? I know that it's all a ruse to get my foot in the door so that I'll buy the version of the game that's finally complete, that has all that stuff. Stop fucking with me.
I remember a time when I was able to buy games and they'd have endings. But then Dark Matter came and ruined everything.
But then Dark Matter happened.
There's
and
like 20 DLC packs for Dark
play
Matter in the
video
chamber
game.
right now. It's... well, that seems like a good way to kind of end the show, I suppose. Before we do that, though, we would love if you watched our videos, because we need that to live. So, Mr. Boogie, what's coming up for you on the channel over the next couple of weeks?
Oh, well, we've got a couple of big Francis sketches that I like to do. A lot of people like it when I do the actual sketches, so we've got something planned for Halloween, a spooky episode. We've got a little tie-in for the toy Christmas season, similar to the Furby one I did. I got a couple of gameplay videos coming up, and a lot of vlogs and stuff I want to cover, and I really, guys, hope you tune into that. If you don't know me, I do about half of the game commentary, but I'm also doing a lot of stuff about life. And I got to tell you, if you stick around for the game commentary, if that's all you ever watch, or you just watch the Francis Rages, I love you for it, and thank you. But I promise you, there's some really good stuff there for you, too. And I hope you buy that. And if it's okay, I'd love to plug the fact that I finally joined you on Twitch. Because of you, my friend Wow Hobbs, a few of my other just fantastic friends in the industry have encouraged me to start gaming on Twitch. And while it has evaporated what's left of my time, you can find me at twitch.com, Switch TV, Boogie2988. We're mostly playing Hearthstone, and I'll tell you, my streams are really weird, but you're going to like it. Trust me. Trust me.
There you go. And if you want to find his channel, of course, it is below his face and has been for the last 3 hours, if you hadn't figured that out.
YouTube.com/Boogie2988.
Yep, there you go.
Can you say that?
What
you say that for just once TV? So let me hear. I just when you say Boogie2988.
You say it so fast, it makes no sense. It sounds like Tonight 88. It's like, I would say...
That's what it sounds like. Boogie Tonight 88.
Yes. On Boogie Tonight, we have special guest Pauly Shore. In the studio tonight.
Oh, God, Pauly Shore. Ugh.
We're not getting into that again.
Canceled.
Grumpy.
Yes. I would, if I were to read that off, I'd say Boogie2988.
I just love the way you say it, man. Makes me feel...
What, Boogie?
More
Boogie?
Yeah.
Boogie.
It's so cool. You and, like, Dan Bull and, like, a few of the other... It's just so great. I love that accent, man. You guys are awesome.
And that's how we make the big bucks. Dodger, what's coming up on your channel this week?
Crime. Crime in the city.
Perfect timing.
Shut up, crime. Okay. So,
Beautiful.
I have 2 channels. Some people like to joke that I have 3 channels. My first channel is Press Start to Continue, where I do gameplay every day. And every Saturday, I do a roundup news show. And so we have a lot of fun there. Come check that out. I also have youtube.com/dexterity bonus, where I sit with coffee and tell you about my day while my cats try to eat my food for 10 minutes. And that's fun as well. I'm also...
You have a lot of real trouble with that. You need to scold those cats.
Oh my gosh, Sherlock doesn't care. Sherlock's like, I know I'm not getting that food, But I think Watson was starving when I found her, and she has food issues. So every time there's food, she's like, "I need that, or I'm gonna die." I'm like, no. So let's try it.
Story of my life.
We're working on it. But yeah, and then I'm also on youtube.com/Polaris a lot, so go check that out. My Twitter is @DexBonus. My Tumblr is dexbonus.tumblr.com. My Instagram is @DexBonus. My everything is DexBonus for socially stuff. So yeah, come hang out. We have fun.
Indeed.
And I like you. So the end.
Jesse, what are you doing?
Hi. Coxtober continues with more fun and excitement. Come to my channel. There's gameplay and nonsense and gaming nonsense. Other than that, it's the same thing it's always been. More Terraria is going to be there.
Yes,
and
we have 2 more episodes that are just sitting on our Dropbox that you can't have yet.
Here's the thing. We're the DLC of YouTube right now.
Yep.
We have them done, and because we know that you guys flip out when we do 4 episodes in a row, the next week and a half, it's like, where's the Terraria? Where's the Terraria? So now we release 2, and you're like, I bet there's more. Oh, there is. And you'll get it when we're damn ready. So how about that?
We want our Terraria, precious.
No.
Can't have it. No.
Taters, precious.
What's taters, precious? Girl.
Potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew.
Potato.
Potatoes. So,
Yep. So we'll be selling the
yeah.
season pass for Terraria for $14.99. We don't guarantee that we'll finish it, and you probably won't get all the episodes because we take after Gearbox. Yeah.
Can we do something right now? Can we make a promise to everyone? The last episode of Terraria will end with a black screen with just
Text. We just start moving on the screen, and mid-conversation just stops.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, so all that fun and adventure on my channel. So enjoy.
Can I get the season pass for your Terraria content? Can I do that?
Yeah,
$14.99.
$14.99.
$14.99. There we go. That's how much it costs.
$14.99. Yep.
$14.99.
Beautiful.
But you get free wallpaper of Commander Jesco and Odo.
Oh, is that a thing?
Odo.
Who did that? Has anyone done
Odo.
that yet, or are you just asking for people to do it?
It would be great if someone did that.
You're being exploited, guys. You're being exploited. I just want to make you aware of that. Oh, man.
Exploited is a harsh word. I prefer to be. You're being interned. That's what you're being. Wait, no. Oh, that's not the right.
Stop.
I'm gonna intern you so hard.
Stop it.
Oh, no.
We'll build camps. It'll be great.
Stop. All right.
Have all the interns go to the camps.
All right, what's going on this week? Assuming that everything works properly, my XCOM Enemy Within video should be out on the 23rd of October. Usually I don't give ETAs, but when it comes down to embargoes, I'm like, I need that to be out on time. So that's what I'm going to do after I've done this. I'll do a few more hours of it, and then get my first impressions of that game up. It is going to become a little bit crazy quite shortly. Obviously, Path of Exile is coming out, and I'd love to do another video on it, but I don't have 40 hours of my life to spend actually getting to a decent level again in that game. So maybe I ask them to just boost my character or something, but we'll see. And obviously, Batman is coming out in a couple of days. I will cover that. There's no real question about that. It's a big release. I'm not hardly going to ignore it. Oh wow, actually Deadly Premonition is coming out in a week as well. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
And Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie 2 is out in a week and a half. I'm looking forward to having to play that again. And Slender I won't do because Slender's terrible. There's games on the way, I suppose. I am moving though, so please do bear this in mind. If I suddenly go dark for a few days, it's because I'm moving house and I might not get everything set up.
Because he hates you and he's done with YouTube. Everyone, it's because the internet won out, and they've blocked all of his ability to upload. And
yeah,
Reddit
my entire
that.
channel's been copyright claimed by Wild Game Studio.
True.
So
He just
I will
doesn't
not
let
be
you
able.
know. He doesn't know how to
Oh,
break
God.
it to you, guys.
Yep.
So Reddit, get on that.
Whole thing is taken over by Wild Game Studios. That's just the reality of it. But yeah, so I'll be moving. I'll be trying to keep up with the regular stuff as best as possible. But if there are some gaps, that would be why. I would also like to show people the dog that we're getting on Saturday because I feel that's very important.
Yes.
And it is going to look something like this. There
How
we go.
cute dog is this?
Oh, he looks delicious.
Yes, this is Maya the Shiba Inu. There you go. That's where that dog is coming home with us on Saturday.
Oh, it's hurt my heart.
Are you still waiting for it to come through? There we go. It's through now.
Yes, it's there.
Look at it.
now.
It's adorable. Look at it. Look at that thing.
Shiba Inu.
Look at how adorable it is. Look at it. All right. Look at it. Look. Okay. Enough of that. Yeah.
We looked. We did it. We looked.
Yep. I think the only thing left, I think, on my list of stuff is that tomorrow, that being Wednesday, I'm supposed to be doing an Ace of Team Story Cup cast, which will be on this channel with the twitch.tv/TotalBiscuit. So that'll be a best of 9 team series for StarCraft 2. And I'm pretty sure that's everything. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Yeah, are you lot doing anything ridiculous on Polaris over the next week that we need to know about?
Thursday, I am doing an AMA. It's
are you?
called Jesse
Okay.
Cox's Super Truth-a-thon, no holds barred, fantastic, no lies show. And rather than do something stupid, like
That's a
be
brand,
like,
folks.
I'm gonna have a theme. Here's my theme. You ask me a question, and I answer it honestly.
Whoa.
That's pretty new for you. You sure you can pull that off?
Guys, so watch yourselves. Just
Let me get
try
it
to-
Let me get it out of
Try-
the way. Would you rather fight 1,000 duck-sized horses or 1,000? I don't know.
Fuck
No,
Reddit.
stop.
Here's the thing: 1,000 of anything can swarm you, and that's bad. So just give me one horse-sized duck, and I will murder that thing and eat duck for a week.
I know it sounds delicious, doesn't it?
Right? Oh, I bet
It's the only
I bet
answer.
Oh, what goes around comes around. Very, very round.
I got all the answers. I got all the answers. So it'll be great.
Think that's pretty much it, folks.
Word.
We are done for the Co-optional Podcast. If you wish to follow us on the YouTubes, then it is below. If you wish to follow us on Twitter, then you can follow us at TotalBiscuit, Dex Bonus, Jesse Cox, and Boogie2988, I assume, is the Twitter. Am I right?
Yep, that's it.
Excellent. Good, yes.
And
Follow
hey,
us on
man,
those things.
Before you wrap up, man, can I just say how appreciative I am to be here? I love all three of you guys. I love the content.
Aw,
you listen. I love
you, man.
everything about the show. TB, you are a role model to me. You're one of my favorite human beings. I hope we don't lose contact after this. I'd love to talk to you anytime you ever want to, brother. Jesse, absolute pleasure spending some time with you. Dodger, love
It
you
is.
to death.
Oh, thank you. Hug.
You guys are fantastic. I enjoyed myself tremendously today.
Wow.
Right off the
you-
bucket list. Right off of the bucket list.
Can we have him back? He's great for our egos. This is fucking
I
awesome.
know, right? I'm like, yay!
Indeed. All right, folks, we are done for the Co-optional Podcast. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Once we get into the break, I will attempt to get through all of the new subscribers. I'm going to let these guys go before that happens. Then I'll try and reel off the sub list for all of you. Again, thank you to everyone that supports the channel via the paid Twitch subscription. That is very, very cool indeed. You guys are really helping out a lot. So, good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.